All right, it has been a hot minute since we got to do a Zeroing Out podcast. I'm excited. I've been wanting to get back to this for quite a while. And yeah, got the crew here, and we got a little bit of stuff to go through. Not as normally as widespread of topics as we usually do, because we were originally going to do this like a month ago, but then life. Still plan on doing this about monthly, unless situations change. But anyway, yeah, so I've got Mike and Kiona with me here. We've got a small little range of topics, but before we get to that, as normal, I want to talk about everybody's, I guess, month or past month and a half or whatsoever. Mike, go ahead.
So, I don't remember when the last time we did one of these Zeroing Out podcasts.
Oh, it was last year.
Probably, yeah, I believe so.
Well, since then, I've gotten a temp job at Pratt and Whitney. I'm basically just going through boxes of old documents and scanning them onto their servers. So, that's fun. Nice. That's been keeping me keeping money in the pocket for a couple months now.
Nice.
And other than that, I've just been kind of keeping with my normal routine. The one thing I don't like about the job, though, is, and Brock can attest to this, I pretty much had to become a morning person. you and I, same hours.
That is that's the worst, man.
Start work at 4:30 in the morning, baby.
Luckily, it's only 7 for me, but still.
Oh, I tell you.
Oh, and for all of our Renegade pop culture viewers out there, we now have a Patreon.
Yes.
So. Yes, nice.
Yes, it is live.
Yes.
We're working on some tiers still and some other awards. We're working through some stuff, but it is live. So head on over there.
Yeah, that's pretty much like the big update. Other than that, I'm just kind of keeping to my normal routine, doing all of our stuff. Renegade animation's going strong. The next episode we'll be covering the New York International Children's Film Festival, and nice. there's some goodies that Cameron and I are going to be reviewing. Pretty excited about that.
Nice. Excellent. Awesome. Kiona, how about you, buddy?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second. Let me just do this real quick.
Absolutely.
Trying to get some people over here. And hopefully. Okay, so it has been an interesting month or two, let us say, because I don't know. I feel like February for me was just a month of stress, and like for some reason I'm not handling things very well. So it's been a meltdown month, I'll admit, which is why we're definitely going to start that pretty soon. Start that Twitch stream soon. So I've just been like busy doing streaming things and trying to learn the ropes a little bit, and just like, my God, my camera is so weird tonight. I'm so sorry. Like
it's a process.
It's not working, and it's a mess behind me. I apologize, everybody, but like. Yeah, it's a process, and it's a lot to learn, and it's a lot of like tedious little things that you have to like add and subtract and whatnot and all this stuff.
It can all fucking break right before you're about to stream.
It can all break right before you go to stream, and that's what happened to me, and it sent me ballistic. And it just, yeah, this past week has been really rough. But like in terms of life in general, though, I'd say it's been okay. It's been okay. I'm lucky enough to have people who are willing to pull me back from the brink when I am on the edge. So it's been really good, and I love you guys for that, by the way. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to catch up on things that I've missed and trying to watch movies that I've missed. Like one was Wakanda Forever. I finally watched that and cried my eyes out. That was a very tear-filled morning when I was watching that. And I did not see Ant-Man yet, but I've heard things about it, and MODOK freaks me out. I can't deal with that. No, don't do it. Don't ever do that again. Damn it. That was it's ridiculous. Anyway, That makes me almost not want to watch it. Like seriously, I'm just looking at that MODOK and I'm going, no sir, that negatory.
People wanted MODOK in live action, and then when they realized what MODOK in live action would look like, they went,
MODOK
"We
in
don't
live
know if we
action.
want."
That's
So
a no
weird.
from me, dog. And I have been just like trying to, basically trying to maintain my sanity while playing things like Fortnite, and that's a joke, by the way. It's fun. It's okay. It's an okay game. When you have people that enjoy it and that you're playing with, that you enjoy spending time with, it's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah. And apart from that, what else has been going on? That's pretty much it, man. It's day to day. Every day is a struggle. Every day is a triumph.
Mhm.
The fact that you get up in the morning is a triumph. So
It is.
it's been a lot of
Yeah.
mental health issues for the past couple months, but we're trying to just keep the ball rolling, keep it going,
That's what you
One day
do,
at a
bud.
time.
one day at a time.
That's what
Yes,
you
sir.
freaking gotta do, man. Trust me.
Yep. So what about you, Brock? How have you been doing?
I have been
These
doing
segues.
all right. Can't really complain. Well, I could, but but yeah. Been Twitch streaming, doing some stuff. I got another binge in as the year's gone. I finished Gate. Gate was phenomenal. I don't know if either of you have seen it or know anything about it. It is about a gate, like a Roman Colosseum style gate opens up in the middle of central Japan. I want it's Tokyo? I believe it's Tokyo. And just medieval monsters and soldiers just start charging clean through it in the middle of when this guy Yoji Itami was going to go to a anime convention and didn't know that he was in their version of the army, pretty high ranked, solves all of it, and then they go back through and you find out that there's this just huge rolling lands of stuff that's on the other side of this gate. So they establish themselves there and they're fighting people on horseback and they have machine guns and tanks. So they very easily settle a foothold over there and it just goes into politics and it's very well done for showing because they never come close to losing a fight. And it's very much a show of when you should use force, when is the right time to approach situations politically. It's a very good show. I didn't know how they were going to handle it because one side is so assuredly going to win every time, and it was the people you're rooting for. So it's weird, but it's very well done. And also having a guy who is an anime fan being sent into a land that has everything you could ever want in an anime in it, and then watching him just try to deal with that situation is fantastic. Unbelievably fantastic. Can't recommend it enough.
Definitely adding that to my list.
Oh, Gate was so good.
Yep,
The humor
adding
in
it to the list.
Yeah, the humor's
For the watch list,
fantastic.
yep.
The one and it's got some Japanese things that you'll just expect. There's this character Rory Mercury who looks like she's 18, but she's actually 960. And she is an emissary of a death god that if people die around her, she's aroused by it because they're essentially passing through her as they die.
Oh my god.
So they're in the middle of a castle as this battle's happening. She's in a corner trying to contain herself, oh
no.
And I'm
boy.
what the hell is going on? And then she explains it, and I'm oh, okay, got it. That's a new one, Japan.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yikes.
Honestly.
But streaming a lot, working a lot. Oh, excuse me. And
so weird tonight.
Final
happening. There you go. That's better.
There we go. Finally got a thing done that I've been wanting to get done for a while, and it's the start of it anyway. I finally got my first cover up.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh my god, that's amazing, dude.
And anyone who's watching this,
Yeah.
Anton Schaefer at 715 Collective in Wausau, Wisconsin, nailed it. It is it's the shop he works at, and a friend of mine, Alexei Stankowski, that did everything that's on this arm here. Absolutely nailed it. And got kudos from Yuri Lowenthal on Twitter about it. So I'm
Yes, I
pretty
know. I
fucking
saw that.
stoked
I was like,
about that.
that is so crazy.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
great.
that is amazing.
And so, and we've got more planned. The whole arm's eventually going to get sleeved and stuff like that, but it's currently encased. And it shows how long I've been out of this tattoo game for. Don't know if any of you have tattoos or even remotely interested. When you normally got tattoos at first, you kind of got it all done. They wrapped it once and then brought it home, and then you uncased it.
Yeah.
And then you just washed it down, but you didn't use like regular soap because you didn't want to like have continuous water spray on it in the shower. You'd want to dap it down, not use a towel, use like a paper towel. You had to be very careful with it. Now they have these dermal coverings that I was getting laser surgery to calm the tattoo that I had down under it so that it could get covered. Now they just have these things where you completely, your first session, you get it shaved down, like cleaned, and then they put these dermal pads over it that completely case the tattoo. All of the peeling and stuff happens over the first 24-hour period. You take it off, and it feels like your soul is leaving your body because, oh boy, is that thing sealed in there. And then all the goop and extra horse crap from the first, like, what I want to say, leaking session happens. You clean it out, antibacterial soap. They suggested Dove Dial hand soap you can still use, but not anything like that's regular body wash. And then you apply a second one. You wear it for about a week. And then after that, you just lotion if you need to. It's went from the most annoying process in the planet to one of the easiest things ever. It's nice. And it's kind of counteractive to how you're always taught how to take care of a tattoo, but it makes perfect sense for coming from a guy that had to use the dermal pads for getting my laser surgeries, which anyone who tells you tattoos hurt, they don't. They hurt after about 12 hours, which is what I was doing in the chair for that long. Laser surgery hurts. Anyone who wants a tattoo, know what you want. Take it from me. But all right. So, and then, yeah, other than our topics, that's about all that I really want to get into out of my week. So, let's get into some topics here. What do we got first up here? I suppose, I don't remember if you were on the podcast, Kiona. I don't think you were, but DC Chapter 1.
I was.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about this a month ago on Capes.
That's right. If we had, I don't know if we thought of any more projects or anything that we wanted to like see, or if we had any other comments or not, because I know that, like I said, this was our original plan to do this a month ago.
Yeah.
Life happened, but like
it was.
I did see that Tom King supposedly confirmed that James Gunn is writing and directing that Superman movie.
I don't know yet if he
is that true? I saw a report about that.
I don't know if it's like officially official that Gunn is directing Superman, but
not honestly sure if it is, but yeah. But it might be.
But if that's the case, I think this makes a lot of sense for a couple of reasons. One is that, you know, James Gunn, out of the two CEOs of DC, is more of the creative side, and I think the idea is kind of like when you're show running a TV series, usually the showrunner will direct the first episode and kind of set the tone for the story moving forward. And I feel like that's what James Gunn wants to do with Superman. So if he is directing, then this is a smart idea.
And I definitely think he's going to pass up an opportunity to do Superman.
I don't think you should, frankly. I mean, yeah, I mean, why not put your stamp on the DC universe? And, you know, with somebody like James Gunn, I mean, you know, it's going to be an interesting movie. You know that it's going to be like, he's going to bring out some obscure sort of, you know, maybe a villain that's more on the obscure side, like
Parasite.
Like Parasite, Mongol, like something that's a little bit more esoteric, I think would be the word. I don't know, or niche maybe would be the word that I'm looking for here. But I would hope that it's a little more, you know, it's something different from the typical like let's have Lex Luthor just like hatch a world domination plot. Like let's do something a little bit more unique.
I agree.
Something with a little more oomph to it.
I agree. You know, one thing, this is very tiny, and I could see in a DC universe that is tied with James Gunn into it. I could see them doing it. I want the moment on screen where you actually have Dick Grayson getting from Superman the name Nightwing.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Not a lot of people ever speak about that.
Yeah. No,
it is such a thing that it's always just like, just Dick Grayson came up with it. Like, no, he didn't.
Nope.
He was figuring his own shit out and he got the name from Superman. Because Nightwings are bats on Krypton.
That's right. Yep. That's right. So I hope it
was such a cool thing when I found that out when I was younger. I'm like, that's awesome.
I actually really do agree with you. I think it would be really cool to see that actually happen. And I think it's something that kind of, like to have, especially if we're going to do like the Bat family in Brave and the Bold, I feel like they should definitely do something with Dick Grayson as Nightwing. Like just start us off there.
Yep.
Then you don't have to, you avoid the whole Robin, whatever like thing about Batman bringing a kid into like, an urban like war zone or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I've seen that criticism brought up. That's why, especially on like, like John Gambia's show.
Yeah. Oh, that was just literally going to say it up. Yeah, I know. Like, he's the main one.
He's the main one that brings that up. But I mean, like, you could avoid all that by just having Dick be Nightwing and Jason just be Red Hood already, and Tim is just Red Robin or whatever you want to call him, and like, just don't call him Drake, please, for God's sake.
It's part of his name. Why?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my gosh. So this is my friend is in chat. This is my friend from Red's group here, Jurassic.
Nice. Hello, Jurassic. Hello.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Yeah. And if you're going, and the thing that is so perfect about Damian is you can have him be the one that's the young kid.
Yeah.
And everyone be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, he's the son of he's the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul, whose grandfather is a like dictatorish freaking psycho. This kid was born to be a murderer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
He literally cuts off the head of an enemy that Batman was dealing with, hoping he would be impressed when he was like 8.
Basically, Damian for casual audiences is like Hit Girl but serious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not far off. And it's like, if you're gonna have any of them, that's the one. I would love to have like the moments where like Damian gets like tied up by Nightwing after they get in a serious fight. And, like Nightwing is like heavily breathing, asking him if he lost something. It'd be perfect. Absolutely perfect. And it's like, okay, me and Kiona both played Gotham Knights.
I played a little bit. I didn't play all of it.
There is a great moment, an unbelievably great moment in that game.
Okay.
Where at the beginning of it, you're watching, after Bruce has gotten in a fight with Ra's al Ghul, you're watching a tape of him talking about, if you're watching this, that I've died. Basically going through the whole shtick. Spoiler alert, you didn't die.
I'm shocked by that. Extremely shocked.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed.
Yeah, I was spoiled on that before the game even started. But anyway, toward the end there, I can't remember exactly how I got to it, but you get to see that Bruce recorded like 60 versions of that. And excuse me. And Jason, Dick, Tim, and Barb all walk in on him while he's recording these. And they don't think it's a big deal because he's just doing it. It's just a thing that he does. And like dinner's getting ready and they're doing this. And you see all 4 of them just being dorks in the background, messing with their dad while he's trying to do his homework at home. And I'm like, I need that. I need the stupid Bat family antics and like,
Jason
telling her, he's like, take it about a guy who knows a little bit about dying. You should try and live while you got it. And it's like little things like that. It's perfect. And you can just bring these up and you don't have to talk. It's all these kind of sequential things you can just bring up. The people that know, and the people that don't, you can have the friend in the theater tell you. You don't have to spend all the time. Bat Family is not something you need to have 17 movies to set up. You can just have it be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you can't tell me that after mentioning it on Google, you can't see this giant scaping landscape shot on top of a building that's got Blue Jay, Batwing, Nightwing, Huntress, everyone. It's all there.
Dude, if they put
That would
Blue
be
Jay in a
amazing.
movie, that would just be like insane. Like
I
gotta
lose my shit. I didn't think I like Harper as much as I
Sandra
would, but she's
Kane and
awesome.
Stephanie Brown and Harper. Yeah. And Duke. Signal. Gotta have Duke Thomas in there too.
Yes. You can have a lot of good stuff in there.
So Jurassic is asking us to talk about series that continued that should have finished long ago.
Did that comment not come up on here?
I think it did. I see
Maybe
it.
I just didn't see it. I'm sorry, Jurassic. It's not showing up on my end. I'm going to open up my. All right, I'm going to open up my phone then. It's being stupid.
So
all right.
Says, since we were talking about franchises, let's talk about series that continued that should have finished long ago. Should have been finished long ago. I think. Are you alluding to Marvel?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it movie series or okay, let's see.
Because you can take that question in any direction.
Well, I think that like for me, I feel like there are definitely some shows that outlasted their welcome. Like I would say something like
most of the CW era.
Most of the CW for real. Dude, for real.
Like Supernatural, if it did not have Jensen, Jared, and Misha, should not have lasted as long as it did. They made that thing watchable. I loved every minute of it, but that's because those three people together were dynamite on screen, whatever they did.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the reason why I would give Supernatural a pass.
Oh, I love Supernatural. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm a giant fan of Supernatural. But it's like, and I love Stephen Amell. I love Grant Gustin, but
man, that went on for way too long.
You want to know what could have made them last longer? If each of those seasons was 12 episodes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I would say for me personally, I think Smallville outstayed its welcome, even though, like, I would have ended it with
Brainiac.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely say that. I would say like
I go watch Smallville.
I would say that like I would have ended it with Lex leaving, with Rosenbaum leaving. That's what I would have done. But that's just me. I think the final seasons were kind of on the weaker side, especially the last two.
I just don't like what they did to Darkseid in season 10.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Very disappointing.
And I blame 100% Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer with their art cloud of Galactus.
Well, but that was ultimate. The ultimate Galactus, though, if I remember correctly, was in the comics was a cloud.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so. Like, I think they reimagined Galactus to be like a cloud energy being,
kind of like a devouring source type of deal.
Yeah, as opposed to being, a gigantic dude designed by Jack Kirby with the Kirby crackle and everything. I think that like X-Files for me kind of outstayed its welcome too. Like, I guess I have a problem with like shows that if you lose a lot of your cast members, then maybe you should just stop. But I don't know.
Like, what are some other? Man, most of the shows that like
maybe like 24.
24. Most of like, man, anime's kind of ruined me to where I like shows being smaller. So like it starts to be over like 50 episodes. It starts to be like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Well, hey, One Piece fans, have a seat.
Okay, that's the conversation we need to have. I talked with someone about that the other day, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that started being written in the 80s. they're finally started animating it like not kind of having a weird wobbles in the road in 2012.
Mhm.
It is now 2 parts away from where the guy is currently writing it, Araki. He's finally starting JoJo's Part 9. That whole thing, the whole like volume thing, if you put all the books next to each other, is bigger than One Piece.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it has maybe 300 episodes. Maybe. I don't even think it scratches 300. One Piece is like a third, like 3/4 the size of JoJo, and it has over 1,000. What the actual hell are we doing at this point?
Okay,
I don't
I
even
can
know.
I can kind of sort of explain this. So One Piece is one of those grandfather anime that started in the late 90s, and
Yeah.
before anime had like proper seasons. This has just been running weekly with like some breaks here or there. But it's a show that's kind of grandfathered into the old ways of anime broadcasting.
Yeah.
It is. It's just, it was like,
I don't think I'll ever watch One Piece because it's just too much.
yeah.
I
I'm having trouble trying to
do it.
start Fairy Tail, which is 300.
Yeah, that's like more than enough for me, man. I'm like, just give me a Cowboy Bebop style show where it's like,
Ah,
you have as many episodes as you want, and then that's it. Or
Yeah.
Evangelion or something like that. It's just like, if it gets to be over like 50 episodes or whatever, I'm pretty much I don't know if I have the attention span.
yeah. It needs to have a proper good hook,
Yeah.
or just like you get certain ones where Soul Eater was 52, but then the ending made me just and then like Claymore, I'm actually reading the manga. Anyone that reads mangas, I cannot physically cannot suggest Claymore more than I can. It was animated by Madhouse
Yes.
and beautifully done.
Yeah.
The ending is, and this happened before The Last of Us 2, keep in mind, is The Last of Us 2 done wrong in every way humanly possible.
Done wrong.
Done wrong. I am one of the people that fully agreed and liked how The Last of Us 2 ended.
Okay.
That's me. For Mike, that you don't know, anyone who's watching who's not played The Last of Us,
Yeah.
spoiler alert. In the first Last of Us game, Ellie, I'm going to spoil you. The end of The Last of Us. I can't believe I'm weirded out spoiling someone because the show's on now.
The show is on, yeah.
But I really don't see them changing this. So, spoiler alert coming. They find out the cure for Ellie. They need to like have surgery on her, and like Joel is knocked out in the game because they don't know who Joel is when they find him, and he saved Ellie from drowning. So they knock him out, and then he wakes up in a emergency room with Marlene and a guard, and they're like, "What happened?" He's like, "I can't believe you made it here." She's like, "She made me get here." And then he's like, "Where's Ellie?" She's getting prepped for surgery, and then she's like, "I need to say goodbye to her," or what? And then like they're making sure that he's not staying, and then they're like, she's getting prepped for surgery, and she's like, "We need to get the cordyceps on her mutated, and that's what they're going to get the cure from." And then Joel's like, the cordyceps surround the brain. And then she's like, it's one person's lives or whatever. And he goes to get up, and then they basically calm him down. He's like, no, it's like, let me say goodbye to her. She's already getting prepped for surgery. She's out cold. So A, they're going to kill her to get this cure. B, he does not get to say goodbye to her after everything they've been through. And C, they're just kicking him out the door.
Yep.
After all he's been through. Yep. In that moment, I've never in a video game ever wanted to murder an entire building of people more than I did at that moment. And you do. You, as Joel, murder that entire building of Fireflies. Single-handedly wipe out the whole building, Marlene included, and the doctors that were performing the surgery on Ellie. And then take Ellie, and you drive away, and she wakes up from the anesthesia when you're like a state away, and then she asks what happened, and he said that there was a bunch of kids like you and it didn't work. They found out that the cure's bupkis. It didn't work. So he lies to her wholesale. Didn't tell her that he murdered everyone there. And then in the second game, the first thing you do is you witness Joel getting murdered. It's one of the first things you do. The doctor you kill that was going to perform on Ellie, his daughter comes and finds you. And
Is that
kills
Abby?
Joel. It's... I have a live stream reaction of me doing it even the second time, and I still cried. Anyway, and then this goes on another path to where Ellie then goes to track down Abby, this girl. Now, keep in mind, when Abby came to find Joel, she went out of her way to only, and I mean only, take care of Joel. She knocked out Ellie. She did not kill Tommy, his brother who was there. She only hurt Joel. Keep in mind, Joel murdered the entire building of people to get Ellie out. This is all about how you feel about situations. Did Joel handle the first game wrong? Yes. Do I completely agree with what Joel did? Yes. That's the best part about it. I would have done the same thing. But anyway, and at the end of all of this, at the end of the game, you go to try and find Abby initially. You murder every single one of her friends while trying to find her. And then they finally catch up with you, and Abby tells you point blank to your face, I let you live, and you wasted it. And then you go away, and then they split their separate ways, and you never got to kill Abby. And then Tommy comes to find you after Tommy got mortally wounded in this whole thing when you guys went out of state to do this, and tells you that he found where Abby was again. You go, and Abby's been put through a ringer by someone she got captured, and you're in the last moments getting ready to drown Abby, and this moment blinks in Ellie's head of Joel on a porch. Throughout the whole game, they're showing you moments where you think that her and Joel never made up with each other because she found out what actually happened at the place where Joel fucked up and he lied to her, and then they don't speak to each other anymore. And you think that Ellie never got to apologize to Joel before he died, or they never got to set things right. And then she stops choking her and lets her go, and there's no revenge thing. The cycle of violence kind of thing just mellows, and Ellie sits there crying as Abby goes away. And then she goes back, and it was just kind of over. And the lesson I took, from me anyway, every single time someone went out of their way for revenge and went through a cycle of violence, they lost everything they had. Joel almost lost Ellie, so he went through all that. Ellie lost Joel because of what Joel did. And then Abby lost every single one of her friends because she went to go get revenge for her dad. And then Ellie, throughout the whole game, she plays this song that Joel taught her on the guitar. At the end, Abby cuts her fingers off, or bites her fingers off. And the one thing she had left from Joel was a song that he taught her, and she can't play that song anymore because she bit her 2 fingers off. So the one lesson she had left from Joel, she can't even do anymore. She got nothing out of it. In Claymore, this girl Claire witnesses this girl in Claymores can't kill. What is a popular character most people? Jurassic, we will do that one next. I'll be done in a second, and then we'll answer that question. I saw it here. Don't worry. For whatever reason, it's not popping up there, but I'll get to you in a second. That is a great question. In Claymore, when this girl Claire is younger, Claymores are beings that are they hunt down these things called Yoma, and they get Yomas put into them to make them able to hunt them and have weird abilities. They have one rule: they can't kill humans, or the organization they work for will come and hunt them down and get rid of them, because they are supposed to be this force that helps humans but never hurts them. That's their one rule. There's to a point of where they almost lay down and let humans take advantage of them because they're not meant to hurt them whatsoever under any circumstances at all. And this girl Claire, and who is the main character of the show, and you find out was a little girl, started following around a Claymore named Teresa. And as she's following her, she gets close and just makes Teresa finally like her and get along with her after Teresa beat the shit out of her trying to get her away from her. And eventually she's like, okay, that's fine. I'll let you live with me. The organization doesn't care. You're just gonna have to travel with me. And eventually this raider camp was basically waiting for Teresa to clear out the Yoma so they could raid the town. she was going to leave Claire there to have them take care of her. And she finally got Claire to be okay with it. Then she sees the Raiders coming. She's like, fuck. I just took out the Yoma so the Raiders could take care of the town. They were literally waiting for a Claymore to come through so they could raid the town. She goes in, rescues Claire, but murders all these guys because they were attempting to kill Claire and use her as a hostage. So now she's being hunted by this group of Claymores that got a black card put on her. And Claire is the number one in their organization. They rank them by numbers of like power. And these people come after her and Claire wipes the floor with them. Teresa wipes the floor with them. Embarrasses all of them. It like not even breaks a sweat. And there's this number 2 that raised up that's really good at everything. They just rise up the ranks super fast and killing like 50 Yoma while they were waiting for her. So while Therese is just manhandling all of them, she gets in there and she takes mercy on this girl Priscilla instead of murdering her and says, I'm not killing you. I'm leaving. Don't come after me or I will do this again. And Priscilla, how they show you a thing that happens is that they use too much of the Yoma that's in them and they awaken and they become a bigger version of this beast. She awakens and cuts Teresa's head clean off in front of Claire because Teresa took mercy on her. So in that moment, Teresa screwed up and she was done. And then from that moment, Claire's entire life point is if she ever saw Priscilla again, she'd kill her. And Priscilla is then told to be described as the most horrific human murdering monster that the organization has ever seen. The most powerful being ever. They're called Awakened Ones. That if they ever got the opportunity, murder her, don't feel bad. She does not care. She's the most useless waste of space. All she is a psycho murdering just monster. They get to this battle in the north and like 40 Claymores get murdered, just murked. And Claire finds a way to like make her body parts half awaken, but still be there. And she's like kind of as a monster, but like kind of in control. And she's got a person that's following her named Rocky, who's basically being what Claire was to Teresa. And she gets Priscilla after a like 5 to 6 episode long fight. She finally gets her down and is about to kill her. And Rocky tells her, no, stop. You don't understand what she's been through. Here's what she's been through. There's these things called abyssal beings that are really, really old Awakened Ones that were top organization members that changed. One of them beat Priscilla into submission and used her as a subordinate. And she didn't remember what she all did because she got beaten down so bad. So she just looks like an innocent girl and doesn't know what she did. Rocky then says, she doesn't understand what she did. You can't kill her. You can't do this or you'll feel terrible. You should stop being a Claymore. I can take care of you from now on. You don't have to worry about all the stress it puts on in your life. She spares her. Claire leaves. 5 to 7 plot points get dropped. Claire leaves her Claymore in the ground and stops being a fighter while she lets the most dangerous individual on the earth leave and possibly go murder the entire planet. That is how you do The Last of Us ending wrong. Sorry, that was much longer than I thought that was going to be, but go read the manga. It doesn't happen that way. It's phenomenal. Anyway, so Jurassic had another good question. Okay, here's a hard thought. What is a popular character most people love that you guys hate?
Ooh. This is a tough one.
That's so tough for me. Like, I can't really think of a character that I...
The worst part is, I know I have
hate
2 or
that
3 of them
much?
that are like burrowing into my head, but they're just... oh man.
Who would that be for me? Like, I don't even...
Okay, hold on.
There's not many characters that I legitimately like.
Guys, what would be a good way I could search? Where's my mouse? Oh, the joy of having 3 monitors. Okay. What would be a good way I could search this?
Like
most hated
that
popular
everybody
characters?
loves. but that most people love that you hate.
Most hated.
I'll be honest, I don't think I have a character like this.
Like a character that most people love.
Let's see if I can do this. Characters.
I don't know.
Love, but are
Because for me, I'm usually the opposite, where like characters that most people hate, I can kind of defend. Like I know there's a lot of people who hate Damien for being an annoying little shit, but
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
if you actually read Grant Morrison's Batman run, A, he gets like significantly better as the run progresses, and B, Batman and Robin is awesome. Where
Yeah.
Dick Grayson is Batman and Damian is his Robin.
Yes. Man, that is such a freaking hard question. And I know I have one. I just can't.
What about like Cyclops? Do most people love Cyclops?
I don't know. And I'm so ruined by the Super Best Friends group that
Yeah, same.
Cyclops is meant to be the leader of the X-Men. And he's supposed to be the cool guy that everybody likes.
Yeah,
But then Wolverine exists.
yeah, exactly. And it's like I like the visual, but
And
I
then
don't-
you get
I don't know if you is he a beloved character? Like I don't even I wouldn't say that I even hate him necessarily. I just find him bland as I won't even say vanilla because vanilla can sometimes taste really great. So I don't know.
You know
I just
what? The
don't-
weird thing is with Cyclops is that he could be a cool character, but you know who
Yeah.
I think hates him the most?
Who?
Anyone that writes him.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point right there.
I got an idea.
I
How
mean,
are we
he's
going to make
had a lot
Scott
of eras.
I got an idea. How we're going to make Scott likable. How about any time it even remotely looks like Jean might have died, he starts hopping on the next available female that's next to him?
Yeah.
What? I got it. What will make him likable? What if he had a psychic affair with Emma Frost, where she dressed up in the Phoenix outfit?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly
Or
like that.
how he like just jumped on Psylocke and like he forgets that every time Jean Grey might go away, that to quote Matt McMuscles, she comes back as an ever powerful demi bitch and just ruins his life. It's like you can't escape it. It doesn't matter what it's in.
Okay.
Comics, video games, or the movies.
I will tell you, like, when Chuck Austin wrote the X-Men, every single character that he touched became unlikable.
I never read many X-Men trades, to be honest. So I really can't tell you.
Do not ever read the Chuck Austin ones. I tell you, they are bad.
Is Chuck Austin the one that came up with when the Brood like used Kate Pryde as like a breeding?
No, that was not. I don't think that was Chuck Austin, but he came up with the whole like Romeo and Juliet with the Guthries and like with Sam and Paige Guthrie, like Cannonball and Husk, and like there's this.
Did he write the one where they have sex in the air?
Sort of thing. Yes, that was him.
Good
Yep.
Lord.
It was really
But
bad.
anyway, Mike, no, there's a look up YouTube video. Hate's Worse Than Death. I want to say it's the Brood. No, what is it? What is that insect alien thing the X-Men deal with? Is that the
It
Brood?
is the Brood.
No,
It is
it is
the
the
Brood.
Brood. I keep thinking of Edge of Christian and Gangrel whenever I say Brood. But like there's a very very explicit panel that shows that like I want to say it's Kitty Pryde, that they like use her as like breed stock. It's fucked.
Oh, jeez. And of all the
also
characters
Kitty
too.
Pryde, the one that gets eaten in like in a sewer by the Blob. In one of the
I don't remember that.
It was like a Marvel Zombies trade thing where I can't remember exactly what it was.
Oh, was it Marvel Zombies? Well, then
It might have been, but there's one
might
where where the Blob eats an X-Men character in a sewer, and I want to say it's Kitty Pryde. Anyway,
Oh, God.
but yeah,
That
there's
is a really tough question, though. Actually, Jurassic, if you're still here.
like.
Oh, that people love.
Ah!
Most people love that we hate. It's hard to think of like
Okay, let's flip that question slightly. What is the character that everyone hates that you love?
Okay,
is Stephanie
love.
Brown hated.
By everyone that wrote her.
I mean, that again.
Oh, if
you're
we're gonna
not
use that
wrong.
logic, then anyone who doesn't write for Tim Drake, or every like movie or show that like just puts them on the side.
Yeah.
And he's always the dork kid somehow. I'm like, he's so smart. He figured out who Batman and Robin were from the Flying Grayson's like trapeze techniques. I'm like,
Yep.
that's ridiculous. But oh
It's also
man.
comic book logic.
Yes. Oh man. You know, I said that one would be easier, and now I got it. No, you know what? I've got both of them.
Okay.
And they're
Okay.
both
Go for
in
for it.
Soul Eater.
In Soul Eater.
Okay.
One, everybody loves, and I mean loves, Black Star in Soul Eater. I want to stab myself in the ear with a screwdriver every time he's on screen. I hate him.
In which version? The dub or the sub?
Both.
Okay,
And
I agree.
His personality just grains on me. And then everyone's like, well, Brock, I just don't get it. He's a character that like believes in himself so much. You should like him because you like Simo. And I'm like, no, there's a right way to do that. And there's a wrong way. And you just mentioned the two exact ways how to do it. Simone is like, hey, man, I believe in you. We're going to get through this. And I'm going to fight like hell to make sure that we get through this. Here's Black Star. At the very end of the show version, this character called Death the Kid comes up with this big, grandiose plan of how he's going to solve the problem and do all this. He's like, you're going to distract him while I get ready to fire this all-powerful shot and do all this, that, and the other thing, and then it's going to work. And then this is Black Star's response. No, I have a great idea. I'm going to go distract him while I do this, that, and the other thing, and then you go and get your death shot ready and have a bit of that. Get it? My idea was better because I said it. Let's go. Poof. And I'm like... Oh! And that's every scene he's in. I hate him.
Okay.
Oh
boy. For people comparing Black Star to Simone, Black Star is closer to Naruto.
Yes.
Okay.
And then a character that everyone hates from Soul Eater that I love so much is Excalibur. Excalibur is the biggest troll ever. He's voiced by Troy Baker in the English dub. And in Soul Eater Kiona, you should watch it. The ending sucks, but you should watch it because the beginning, like 80%, is gold. But
I have so many animes.
He's the sword Excalibur. How you need to be worthy to get Excalibur. So
yeah.
You need to pull him from the stone, and like in there, he's in this like watery cave filled with fairies. It's very reminiscent of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then Death the Kid and Black Star go get it. And then they're just like, only characters that are worthy can wield this blade. It's the most powerful thing on the planet. And then they go in there, and but it's one of the best moments that Black Star has in the whole thing. While Excalibur's reading while Death the Kid's reading this book about how no one should be able to do this unless he's most worthy, Black Star just... How'd you do that? What, how did you... I just pulled it up, and then it's like... And then the thing is, actually... The person who can put up with Excalibur is the person who can wield him, because he's the biggest annoying troll on the planet. And like the fairies in the cave,
of course Black Star would be
exactly. And the fairies in the cave are like cheering that they took the sword out and someone's going to deal with them, and they don't have to put up with it. And it's like everyone's like, when I said I hated Black Star, and I'm like, it's the most annoying person in the show. He's like, no, the most annoying one's coming. I'm like, who? And then they just showed me a picture, and then as soon as he showed up, I'm like, I love this guy. He's the best. And outside of one time when he shows up at the end, every episode he's in is pointless. There's no plot relevance whatsoever. And you can openly tell he's making up stories about his life because he's been there since the beginning. He's talking about, I lived with my family in New York. And then like 3 lines later, he'll totally contradict the previous story he just told. He's great. He's the best. He's so good. Yeah, there we go. At least I thought of one. I couldn't come
Okay.
up with anything else.
I have one for the flip side of that question as well, like a popular character that a lot of people maybe hate that I love. Korra from Legend of Korra.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of people really like dislike her because she's not Aang. But
Yeah.
like
That's unfair.
that's
honestly.
really unfair, honestly. And I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to skew that show maybe a little bit older also, and like, you know, make it a little more complex.
Yeah, that is.
So she's not like Aang had his shit together, whereas Korra did not. And I think that was what made her interesting for me.
Mhm.
But like I mean, I love Aang too, and I love I love both series, honestly. Korra was the thing that got me into it though. So I kind of came at it from a different perspective as well. But yeah, I would say that a lot of people like badmouth the character, and I think that's unfair. And Korra is actually a really great character if you
Mhm.
actually watch it and understand it.
Yeah.
But if you watch it and understand it and don't like her anyway, then that's fine too. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying that, like, I feel like it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a character. We of course know Stephanie Brown is another character, but like in terms of a character that most people love that I hate, I honestly
really
can't
hard
think of
one.
one.
Yeah.
I don't have that big of a
I don't
contrarian
really-
opinion like
Yeah,
that.
I don't really have one.
And one's gonna hit me like a brick wall as soon as we shut this off. There's one I could feel it burrowing in the back of my head, but I just know it's there.
the closest thing for
Another
me would
one
be
for that
Cyclops.
people hate. Yeah, one other one that people.
Okay, you know what?
You got one?
I don't hate him, but my least favorite of the Earth Green Lanterns is Hal Jordan.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Okay,
That's
nice.
interesting. Yeah,
I will say he is the most unimaginative Earth Lantern.
yeah.
That's exactly why.
Where you
And
got
that might
people
that
like
may just-
Kyle Rayner who's making Superman and Batman with his ring.
True.
well, that's the thing. Kyle Rayner was an artist before he got the ring, so that's why he had like the most elaborate constructs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why for the longest time he was my favorite. Also, he was the Green Lantern in Morrison's JLA run. So yeah, that's why I'm attached to him. And John Stewart, it's obvious because Bruce Timm's Justice League cartoon.
Oh yeah.
For a character that most people hate that I actually can defend, Guy Gardner. And no, I'm not talking about the bowl cut.
I
actually-
cannot defend that. You cannot. I'm sorry, sir.
What about
I'm
Guy
actually
Gardner?
referring to Peter Tomasi's Green Lantern Corps run, where
Mm.
in the New 52 you get to actually meet a lot of his family, and that's when he comes across more sympathetic than his earlier appearances.
Okay.
What about Bart Allen? Impulse.
Don't know enough about Flash, honestly.
Because
I
I-
like him in Young Justice.
yeah, I liked him in Young Justice the comic. So like that was sort of my introduction, apart from some of the Mark Waid Flash run from like the 90s, you know. But like I liked him in Young Justice the comic book because I thought it was actually kind of cool the way that they portrayed him as this kind of like, you know, like he was very just very like almost like an ADD kind of character. Like he was all over the place, and I kind of, you know, because he's impulsive, and I kind of like love that about him. Like he was just all over the place on the page and in the comic, and just, you know, always having fun. He was a fun character. So
And
for me,
the voice actor in
I'll
Young
say Bart.
Justice, Jason Marsden,
yeah,
perfect. Probably one of the most perfect casting
Perfect
for
casting.
a not main character.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say I don't know if he's considered like a hated character or anything like that. But I know that I've seen some things where people complain about Bart Allen and Impulse and that whole thing. But like, I think he was a cool character.
You know, I've got one, a really big one actually. I thought about
Oh.
it, and it's a group of people that everyone hates, but I
Okay.
love,
Okay.
and it's the crew of the Tempest in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Hmm.
I fucking love that group. Love every one of them. Liam's a little bit of a wet towel, but Mass Effect is really bad at making male soldier person. And
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
Drac, Cora, Vetra, PB, I honestly really liked them. I was one of the few where I was like, I was really okay with having that crew. I was really okay with it.
I did not like
But
them. I just I don't know though. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't finish the game, so
it's got the best ending mission in a Mass Effect game, in my opinion.
okay.
That
Man, you
ending
have to play
mission
that honestly.
is insane. It made me feel how I felt the ending of 3 should have felt.
Okay.
You are in
That's
a
fair.
war zone the entire time. It's phenomenal.
I'm glad that they got that right in Andromeda because I felt like that was very much lacking in 3.
Well, when you get it's one of those things where it's like, and then no one sees it because people don't play it, and it's just
Maybe I'll play that
it's
on
something
stream.
else. It's the only mission in Mass Effect history where your entire team is on the field and you can control them.
Interesting. Okay.
It's awesome. Because it's like it's time to go, and then they're like, who are you picking? And then your entire team goes, fuck that, and everyone gets in your vehicle and they just go.
See, now they learned their lesson from 3 then, because that is definitely something that I would have liked to have seen in Mass Effect 3. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's so good.
Yeah.
So
Um
but yeah, that
but
was
yeah. That is a brain twister of a question, Jurassic.
that
That is a
is
really
because
good
you're
question.
asking people that for the most part are pretty like-minded, aren't unbelievably contrarian.
Yeah.
You know? Oh no, that's another. Gosh dang it! I was gonna say I have another one that people hate, but I like. That's not the hard one though. Gosh dang it! All right. Okay. So I got one that everyone loved. That I had. It's Cassie Cage and freaking Birds of Prey because everyone loved her. Yeah!
I mean, I love Cassandra Cain as a character, but not the way that she was portrayed in that movie.
It's literally the only thing I despise about a movie that I otherwise love.
It was so dumb. Everyone talks
not-
about disservices to characters. That
Yeah.
actress did
Nothing-
fine with what she was told. Nothing's worse than what they did.
Oh yeah, it's not the actress's fault, like at
Yeah.
all. No.
They just went, we need a girl who lives in Gotham and happens to be Asian. Cassandra Cain, what does she do? I don't care. Where she can have a broken arm and eat some sandwiches. Woo-hoo. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
One thing that got brought up that I wanted to talk about that I just can't believe Square Enix is having a real tough go.
They are. Some would say deservedly.
They sold a bunch of stuff to Amazon for around 200 million. It was like
it was somewhere around there.
It was Tomb Raider and a couple other sorry. They sold a bunch of stuff to Embracer for like 200 million. I'm sorry.
Embracer,
They sold Tomb Raider, Deus Ex,
Hitman, I think
it was Hitman, and then a couple other things that they didn't seem gelled with them. In other words, they weren't classical Japanese style games.
Basically anything that was Western developed.
Western. Yeah. And keep in mind, all this was sold for 200 million.
Yeah.
Embracer sold just Tomb Raider to Amazon for 600 million.
Yep.
That is by the way, I want to point this out. Embracer is the same company that now holds the rights to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all of the Tolkien properties.
Yeah, it's a group that I didn't know a whole lot about until they started quietly gathering up quite a lot of stuff. Like they have, I'm pretty sure they have THQ Nordic as well.
Yes, they do.
And a bunch of other things. Like,
yeah, that's where I heard of them.
They don't get mentioned enough as far as big companies because they've got a lot.
They have a lot. And the thing of it is that so far they have not been like super controlling in terms of like, in terms of like the
they
studios
just give them money.
They just kind of let them go and do their own thing, at least so far.
Yeah. Like with Darksiders and stuff like that. That was afterwards. And I thought Darksiders 3 was great.
Yeah.
And if you're just gonna be like, no, here's money. Go.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But yeah, that was I just can't believe that. That was just
But I mean,
I'm like, how do people hot potato Tomb Raider?
I don't even know.
In the right hands, it's a gold mine.
The thing of it is didn't they say at Square, didn't they actually say that they were gonna like use that money to like promote or to like develop like NFT games or something like that?
They were, and then that guy's no longer in charge of the company anymore.
Yep, he's gone now. So, you know.
So thank God.
You, sir, you are done. You are out. Yeah, I mean, it's just
that's not needed.
Yeah. And
I want Square Enix making Final Fantasy games.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you.
Oh man.
But it's just I mean, and Tomb Raider, what do you guys think the future holds for Tomb Raider now that they're owned by Amazon?
There was a big thing that it's like, we're going to make games, movies, and anime, which is still in the works at Netflix, last I heard.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what a Tomb Raider anime is.
I wonder if they just mean like.
But
Tomb
then again,
Raider,
they're making a Creed anime now.
Yeah.
Because of course they are.
Because of course they are.
Yeah. So like.
I'm starting to become one of those people like, yeah, just do it. Give it a shot. Anime form works.
Actually, you know what? I could see a Tomb Raider anime existing.
Absolutely.
It would basically be like Princess Mononoke, but a series. Like that meets Indiana Jones.
Yeah. It could.
Yeah.
It's honestly what I wish they did with Horizon versus making it live action, because oh boy, am I terrified about that.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm so with you on that. I think that they should have just gone the animation route for sure.
Yeah, or just not have Netflix do it.
Or just don't have Netflix. Yeah.
If they nail it, I'll be happy. But my God, HBO's done really good with The Last of Us. I hope they learned the lesson where they're just like, how about you just make the thing?
Now, speaking of video games and animation, for those of you who don't know, tickets are now on sale for the Super Mario Brothers movie. And yesterday they released the final trailer for it. And did any of you guys have a chance to watch it?
I did not. I was at work.
I watched it, but I wasn't paying very close attention. Except I liked the opening joke. I thought it was pretty funny.
Was there anything drastic new that we haven't seen?
Well, the one thing that they showed that we haven't seen too much of is a sequence that I can only describe as Mario Kart meets Mad Max Fury Road.
Of course.
That blows my mind.
Why not?
That they're putting Mario Kart in the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
Not just that, Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that not the bait for the sequel, that he needs to win something back through a race? And you make a whole movie about Mario Kart. I was like, y'all better not have put almost everything in this hoping it didn't fail. Because like at the end of this, all of a sudden you're like, hey guys, how about some tennis?
Or a sequel that's basically
really
just
good.
Luigi's Mansion.
Dude, I would.
Oh, that would be amazing, honestly. Yeah.
And keep Charlie Day as Luigi. I would watch the shit out of that.
Of course.
The reason I was thinking about that is because it seems like in this movie Luigi is the damsel in distress. So I'm thinking
Which is
like the
perfect.
It is
Yeah.
perfect. That is
that's
utterly
why I'm thinking the sequel should
the
be,
perfect choice.
you know, something like Luigi has to like find his courage, and he's somehow put in this situation where he's, you know, going through the beats of Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
It's one of the few instances where I'm just like, yeah, have Peach be perfectly capable, but make Luigi a loser. I love Luigi, but him being a loser is funny because it matches him.
Mhm.
Hilarious.
Just the
Funny.
only person who could be a bigger loser than him is Waluigi. I don't know who you get to voice him, but part of me wants it to be Steve Buscemi.
That would work. That would work completely. Yeah, really good.
I don't want anyone else. It
Imagine
has to be
Steve
him.
Buscemi doing a good wah.
Can we get a Luigi death stare in this movie?
Oh, there's no way they're not. There's no humanly way possible they're not. They have Mario
have to.
Kart in it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, there has to be a Luigi death stare.
That
at
will be a
some
legit
point.
gripe of mine. If you have Mario Kart in this movie and you don't do the Luigi Jets there, I will be legitimately upset.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like
I gotta say though, this movie is looking really, really good. Like
it
they
is.
nailed it. I
My
feel like they nailed
legit
it.
only kind of thing is like I'm
The only-
still
Yeah, I'm
it's
still not.
Chris.
Yeah, I'm
And
not.
it's not even
not
not that
feeling
he's
it.
not doing an Italian. It doesn't. It's weirdly feels like he's the one that's trying the least.
I'll say this, in the latest trailer, it sounds better. It sounds like he's at the very least going for that Brooklyn accent.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope so, because like everyone else, like when you told me that Jack Black was going to be Bowser, I was like,
Oh yeah.
okay, it's going to be Jack Black as Bowser. And then I heard it, I'm like, holy hell, Jack Black is Bowser. I was like, what?
Nailed it.
You nailed it.
it.
It's perfect. Everyone they put in that movie has nailed it.
Yep.
Everyone except just that one little nickered feeling of like, oh. And well, I hope he proves it wrong, and I hope everything's great. It just if it's like mild, it's okay. It's just that's the one little thing. All right, so we didn't get to talk too much about Wakanda Forever with Kiona because
Mhm.
you didn't get to see it until now. So Kiona, if you'd like to.
Yeah, I didn't
What are
get to
your
see it
thoughts?
until it was on Disney. So after watching it, I will say that movie made me cry from minute one. It just hit me so hard in my
The
feels.
Chadwick opening.
The Chadwick Chadwick opening just in and of itself, and also the fact that they actually just go right into it, like with Shuri just trying to figure out how to save him, how to save her brother, and like the whole opening sequence, I was in tears. Anytime like that they mentioned, I don't want to be too spoilery just in case, but like
Dude, it's on Disney Plus. I don't care.
I guess it's fine now. I
I'm
guess
letting
would
it
be
go.
okay now. So like with the fact that Angela Bassett she dies. Her character dies, I mean, and there's that sequence of like, there's this one scene. Winston Duke, by the way, who plays M'Baku, like that guy deserves more kudos because he is so good in this movie.
You bald-headed demon.
Yeah, and that he I mean, just the way that he delivers that line to Shuri, where she's like, I'm just she says something like she's just a child or something like that, and then he says, the world has taken too much from you for you to ever be called a child. I'm just the way he delivered that, his voice breaking at the last moment. I'm just like,
yep,
fuck.
So
like that movie hit me so hard. And also it kind of had that it had a little bit of Last of Us 2 vibes also, because at the end where she's just, she could kill him.
Very well could. That got a lot more raw than I thought it was going to.
Exactly.
Like, she roasts him alive.
Right? I mean, like, look, say what you will, but like she is incredible in that movie. I think that movie, all in all, was my favorite of the Marvel Phase 4 projects by far. There is no comparison.
I kind of have to agree. It may not be like my absolute favorite, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's at the very least the most personal,
it's
given
very
given what everyone has lost
Yeah.
during production of this.
it's
Go ahead.
it's very much me in terms of what I like in movies and the exploration of themes and stuff like that. So the fact that it was all just basically an exploration of grief is very much in my wheelhouse. So I really did enjoy the hell out of it, even though it made me cry.
My
Even though
favorite
it
Phase
it,
4 was
it
Spider-Man No Way Home.
constantly
But anyway.
constantly hit me right in the feels.
Oh, it did. I do have
Oh.
to ask you though, and
Yeah, what's up?
I agreed with this, or I think Mike somewhat agreed with me. Could you have been okay with it being a half an hour shorter?
I think it could have been. Yeah. I don't disagree there. I
With
don't
Mike,
disagree.
I told him kind of the breaking point for me, and it's the only thing that I really disliked about the movie, and I hate it when properties do this, period, anything, because to me, it never makes any sense, in my opinion. So, Wakanda is this big military might that the whole world is scared of until you see Tolo Khan, and then how they just sneak a submarine in there and just drop it in Wakanda before anyone even knows what happened.
Mm.
It's shown that they outstrip Wakanda's power by like 100 to 1. So they come in after they've gotten everything out and they just wreck Wakanda. Just without breaking a sweat, wipe the floor with them, take them behind the woodshed, beat their ass, and then go, "You got one day! And then you join us. We need you to rule the world. I know we just whooped your whole country in a day without a sweat, but we need you. So you better join us tomorrow.
I
We're
mean,
coming back."
I understand that criticism, but I also thought
I'm
that
like, you should have had the final battle just be there.
Yeah.
You didn't need to go back and then come back to have the final battle add an extra half an hour of them going, "Yeah, man, we really got our asses whipped." You could have had the whole movie be there, because the last battle, they still get their asses whipped until he surrenders.
Yeah. I see your criticism there. But
I hate it when movies do that. It's my
Yeah.
one of my biggest gripes. I know we could end the movie now, but for runtime, we're coming back tomorrow.
I still think it was good.
It was good. And a lot
I still
of that
think it was
great.
good, but it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a fair criticism. I mean, is what I mean. Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
only
for
other
sure.
one, and it's a very small moment, and I don't know if I got to talk about it when we talked about it on the podcast. Riri, without hesitation, murders like 6 cops when they're getting away from them at one point in that movie.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
She just
that.
hurls them.
I've actually forgot about
3
that,
cop
yeah.
cars. I'm like, and we breezed over that real fast. She's like, "Don't worry, I got him, guys." Boom! And it'll just
Was it a perfect movie? No. But
no. Those are the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
two things. It was just
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
well, 'cause
that
it's
was
like
a little.
everything, the costume design is just chef's kiss, beautiful.
Yeah.
And that ending,
Yeah, the ending was
Mm.
that was something.
I was already having a real hard time, like you. And then that kid comes out, and I'm like, I physically can't. Don't. Don't.
And then they say it.
And then they
Yep,
say it,
and
and
they
there's
say it.
like his real name's T'Challa. I'm just, I physically felt my heart leaving my body through my throat. And that little kid was so perfect.
That was perfect. That was really good.
Oh my gosh! I just
Oh, what
and
were
that move? Go ahead.
But what were you saying about Spider-Man?
Oh, that was my favorite of the Phase 4s. That's technically in there. 'Cause
My
that's
favorite
just-
is
Yeah, I can
Eternals.
see that too.
yeah. Because
Eternals?
yeah,
Yeah.
nice. It was a range. I was one of those people that didn't hate Phase 4 as much as most, but it's like
Yeah, I kind
There-
of just
it was just
Mm,
it
part-
was it was the problem with it is it was Phase 1 again, but much bigger. And
Yeah,
everyone was okay with Phase 4 because it was only 4 movies last time.
there was. Yeah, I mean, it was
And
just
now it was like 9 with 12 TV shows. And now we're finally
Yeah.
starting to connect all of them.
I just felt like there was a lack of cohesion in a lot of ways, and I don't know. I just felt like something was really off for this whole phase. But considering that they've given us so many fun movies and good movies and stuff like that, like I'm still in for the Marvel Cinematic stuff. Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Same.
I'm
Yeah.
still in on it. I'm a little disappointed to hear the news that apparently for Daredevil Born Again, we're not going to have the 2 cast members that played Karen
Here-
and Foggy.
Here's the thing I'm wondering, though. And I'm waiting to see the show to see it.
Yeah.
Is it a storyline that does not need both of them?
Born Again,
Hold
the
on.
comics definitely needs Karen.
I
have
know,
some-
but is it the Born Again comic or is it just called Born Again?
Is it just called Born Again? Well, I mean, I hope
Because
that they don't do
technically
that where
that's
they
a
just
play on
call it Born
words.
Again.
Because they technically did Born Again on screen, didn't they?
Yeah,
in
Netflix-
season 3.
I guess. Yeah.
And if
I
you're going to
guess.
say anything about it being a show again at Marvel, Born Again was the one I kind of thought they were going to do.
Yeah.
Something I have to add that just came out today. Vanessa has been recast.
Oh, jeez.
I'm pulling
And
up
that's
the
the
actress
other
now.
weird thing. They announced they recast Vanessa, but they didn't announce they recast the other 2. Why
Yeah.
would you just say they're not there instead of saying you recasted them?
I'm
Yeah.
willing.
That's
I'm
weird.
willing to think. I'm willing to think 2 possibilities. One, that this story just does not have these characters, or maybe they don't show up in season 1, but we see them later in season 2.
Could be. And I'd be fine.
I mean that was my thought before I heard that Vanessa was recast. Now it's like, well, who knows?
Yeah. And we'll see. If it's a thing where you solely are just like something happened and Matt like is not doing a ton
Mhm.
of lawyer work outside of being in the well, we'll see. I'm just happy he's back, in all honesty. And the fact that it's gonna have Barenthal in it.
Yes.
I'm gonna try and see what
That
they're
is
cooking
good.
with that.
That is cool.
Because if he's in it again, it's enough to say that he's in it. If he's in a big chunk of it, if it's something that him and and Daredevil and the Punisher are doing together, there's not going to be a whole lot of problems the Punisher's going to want to put up with Daredevil doing that involves lawyer work. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Well,
we'll have to
that's-
see how much he's in it.
I think think too that maybe they're just wiping the slate because it's just like this is a multiverse thing, and it's not the same Daredevil that was in the
And
Netflix
that the
show.
only reason that these actors are coming back is because people just really like these characters and these versions
Yeah.
of the characters.
Yeah, so it's a different version of them, but it's the same actor playing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it
obviously
ki-
Kingpin was kind of different in Hawkeye.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. But I am the one thing I will, Kiona, Mike, let me know if you agree.
Okay.
The biggest criticism is that they thought Kingpin was weak. I'm gonna recount to y'all what happened to Kingpin in that episode. He got hit full on with a full-sized SUV going about 80 and blinked. Multiple to-the-face explosions and laughed.
Yeah.
And then from the looks of it, Echo shot him in the head. And guess what? He's not dead. I think he's still pretty tough.
Mhm.
It's more like comic book Kingpin in that sense of like
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's the reason why, like, even the Daredevil that we saw in She-Hulk is more like comic book Daredevil. It's less,
Yes.
Netflix show.
Right down to the ketchup and mustard suit.
Exactly.
That was so
The-
cool. It had no right to.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely interesting.
You know, we need to see
I'll
in
give it
comics
that.
with him. We need to see Stilt Man.
Still
Oh my
bad.
god.
And we need to have him and John Favreau meet.
Too far.
We need to have him and Happy meet at some point.
Oh yeah.
That'll be a fun interaction.
Cause,
Oh, that
like,
would be.
How did that
super
not happen in
weird.
that Spider-Man movie? That blew my mind.
Oh my god, you're right.
There actually was a deleted scene.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, from No Way Home. There's I can't remember where I found it, but it's like a scene where Murdoch and Happy are either in like I think they're in like a prison like conference room or something. It's a quick scene, but man, I would love to see more interactions with them.
Yeah,
I would
definitely.
too. Man,
Definitely.
Murdoch in that movie was so good. Catches that break. How'd you do that? I'm a really good lawyer.
Yeah. Yep.
He was so good. Oh, it's
One
nuts.
one last thing I'll say about Daredevil before we move on is I remember before his appearance in She-Hulk, people were worried that like the MCU would make Daredevil too silly. And then I'm like, did you guys watch the Netflix show? There are like so many like dry humor moments throughout
Mhm.
the series.
And I think sometimes they like to forget that, yes, he is a character that's scary, but he's not Batman.
No, he really is not
He
Batman.
does crack jokes because he's cocky.
Yeah,
He's closer to Dick Grayson than Batman.
exactly. Very much closer to Dick. Yeah.
Also the famous panel of him, you know, in the Christmas sweater that says, "I'm not Daredevil."
The walk of shame when he's like holding his shoes walking from their house was the fucking best. It's like walk of shame in a superhero costume. That's one they haven't done yet.
Nope.
I didn't think it was going to be those two, but they did it. All right. Well, I was going to say you haven't seen Ant-Man. We kind of did a review on that, so that's fine. Mike, you're not so much involved in this, but I do want to talk about Kiona with it. Kiona, how much longer do you actually think E3 is going to last?
Ooh, I'll give it maybe a couple more years tops. Maybe 2 or 3 more shows. That's about it. Depends on how this one goes, to be honest.
Because like,
how was the last one?
I don't
The
think they
last
didn't
one
have
was
it last year.
like 3 years ago.
Oh,
Because like Nintendo has their directs, Sony has their state of plays and their showcases. Xbox owns companies that only put out games every 17 years. So so like
Redfall's on track. I'll give them that.
but it's like there was no one to go. And all three of them said they're not going this year again.
So here's the thing, though. I'm a defender of E3 because I personally am not a fan of these whole like the Capcom thing yesterday. I watched it. It's so unimpressive to me.
But okay, hold on. That Capcom Spotlight was not meant to show off any brand new stuff. That was meant to blow you away, though.
No, I know, but it's still like it still feels less personal and it still feels less tactile. I like the idea of there being like a big showcase for these companies and stuff like that. And I like seeing the booth tours and I like seeing all the things like in-person events. Like it's just more interesting to me
I'm
than
good with
than
that,
just a
but in my
bland
opinion, I
freaking
think they
video.
should roll it in with the Game Awards.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah.
Have like a pre-Game Awards thing. Like it's the big show and then awards for the games that came before in
I
that.
kind of like what Keeley did last year, where he was doing like the in-person event, but it wasn't like E3. It was very small. It was more
Like
small,
a
but
show or whatever.
but kind of intimate and stuff like that. It was fun, and it was nice to see an in-person gaming event again. And that's the thing that I miss about E3. And like if Keeley's the guy to do it, if Jeff Keeley's the guy to do it, then I think that that's a good thing. In terms of like Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft just skipping out of the show, that's they have huge marketing teams and huge marketing
Mhm.
budgets, and they can do what they want. But they probably feel that they can market their stuff better than E3 ever could, and also it gets them out of the way of the people asking questions. Yep. So
Yep.
that's the thing. They don't want to sit there and embarrass themselves in front of their shareholders. I get it, but I don't know. I just feel like I wish that there was a happy medium between the two of like, here's the big corporate video thing and here is the live in-person event. Like the fact that it's Reed Pop who's handling it now, I think there's a chance that it might be a good show this year. There's a chance.
It is. The weird thing about E3 also, though, now that it's becoming a thing and people have mentioned it, games, even when they're simple now, almost take 5 to 6 years to make.
That is true.
So it's harder to have shit to show.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
And it's like every year you need to have something on that date. That's the part that sucks. So then it turns into when we watched the Game Awards, both you and Tyler didn't give a crap less about anything that wasn't a AAA that was a minor indie thing. You want to know what E3 is going to turn into a lot because games only come out every 8 years now?
Minor indie
A lot of that.
Well, the thing of it was that, I mean, I just miss the idea of there being big titles that were shown off. Like it just seems like we're getting less and less of that. And like you said, it's because of it's because it takes a long development cycle. There's a long time, and it takes a long time for these teams to do what they got to do, especially given life for the past few years.
Yep.
And the state of the world. But I agree. I think it's going to get better, and I think that, like I said, the fact that it's now a company that is used to putting on like fan expos and stuff like that. I think that there is a chance. It depends on how this one goes, but there is a chance that maybe we'll see E3 make a sort of a little bit of a comeback, perhaps.
Maybe the silver lining is if this new E3 kind of puts a spotlight on more of those minor indie games that will boost their the credibility of those specific titles.
Yes. And again, it's kind of the same thing where before we used to have a whole bunch of AAA titles and there were just, a few AA's and some indies and stuff. And now it's the exact opposite where it's flipped. And there's a lot of indie titles. There's not much AA titles, and there's a lot of AAA, or there's a few AAA.
You get through AA titles a year.
Exactly. So what I want to see in the industry, and I hope that maybe the fact that Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo aren't there maybe might facilitate this. I want to see more AA titles, and I want to see the gaming industry sort of get less. What's the word I'm looking for? Homogenous. I want to see it get less homogenous, and I want to see it get more have there be the weird freaking AA Japanese titles, or whatever, doesn't have to be Japanese, obviously, but I want to see more variety, I think, and a little bit beyond indie, but not super beyond. I'll an example of that would be a game that just came out called Wanted Dead. That game looks so quirky and weird, and it looks kind of fun, but fun in that it's totally flawed, but you're kind of okay with it because it's so wacky.
Oh, absolutely. I have another great example, Evil West.
Evil West, that's a good one.
It's a 360 PS3 game that came out on PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Well, that's
it's phenomenal.
That's the thing that I've been missing. I mean, I feel those are definitely the kind of games that I'm talking about, where it's obviously it's not as big as a AAA, but it's not as small as an indie. It's a AA title. It's right in there in the middle.
The thing that they have to figure out, though, and I kind of have a different idea.
Yeah.
The problem with everything and why E3 is slipping, is that a lot of people are becoming less wanting to go to a place to watch a thing when they could save money and watch it from their house.
I do, yeah.
That is a big thing. So what they could do, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is do partnerships with some other events like Evo.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, fucking A, I would say Evo would be
So
perfect.
give reasons to be at this thing, arcade machines, do
Yes.
stuff, in my opinion, like Screw Attack used to do back in the day, where they had
Yeah.
a big retro
Yeah.
game event.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Make
something that
retro
you
a
go
part of
to.
it.
And then be like, guess what? We've also got some stuff, but the main reason you're here is to counteract with people. And we're also going to have some showings at times. Make it more of a gamer
make it
gathering thing, because we've
exactly.
kind of lost the need to have the traditional E3.
We don't need to
then-
have
Yeah.
press conferences anymore. Like
Yeah.
really, we don't need to have those press conferences because they're all just hype trains and hype machines anyway
And
that don't
people
add up to much of
bullshitting
anything.
shit that, like,
Yeah.
marketing guy, go say the thing that we told you that people know you have no idea what we're talking about.
Exactly. Like, yeah, do away with that crap, but keep it as a gaming culture centric show.
Mhm.
Have the retro, have the public be invited, like then it's really an expo. And partner with those other with like the, like PAX or what have you, or like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, why not partner with Evo? Evo is great.
Yeah.
Evo
It-
last year just gave me so many good feelings and gave me so much serotonin because I was like watching Maximilian Dude just talk about like all these fighting games that were being like, it was so interesting and amazing to see like the players and just the celebration of the fact that, we're the fighting game community and we are here and we're standing tall and just raising our flag here for this stuff, man.
Can
That
you
was
believe-
so much fun.
Can you believe that this year, and if this is true or it wasn't just a person on an investor call not realizing what he was talking about, that if that investor call was true, I think the first time in history, in my opinion, that I can remember in recent years, that Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat are going to come out in the same year.
Yes.
Wow.
That is insane.
It's a renaissance, man. This is a renaissance, and I'm so freaking happy. I'm
And
no
all
good
the
at
games
fighting
look-
games,
Oh, neither am I. I
I'm
suck ass at them, but I
terrible
love
at
playing
them.
them.
but I mean, I just enjoy playing playing the little arcade story modes or what have you and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm not brave enough to challenge
Yes.
people out.
Jurassic. I agree. All it would be, oh my gosh, yes, she's back. But,
Yes, Jurassic. Yeah, it's
But
nice to have
yeah,
you
it's like, man, I was never big into Street Fighter. I always played with my cousin when I was younger. I was always a Tekken and Mortal Kombat guy.
Tekken 3
Tekken?
is the best.
Tekken 3 is the best fighting game ever made, in my opinion. I like
can see that.
like I would like some other people like Third Strike and some other things that bring it up. Like
Third Strike is a good.
I won't
Yeah.
I won't be upset, but there's fewer things that you just like mention Tekken 3 and my whole body just is washed over with happiness. The soundtrack of Tekken 3 is sex. That's all
It is though.
just the idle thing when you're waiting to pick characters is phenomenal. It's outrageous. And but oh man, now it's actually all starting to load in there. All the freaking comments now finally just loaded in. It just hit. Thank
Oh,
God.
cool. There you
Now
go.
it's finally here. But
Now it's-
anyway, yeah. And then, like Mortal Kombat, I'm one of those people that like, when you learn about something,
Yeah.
you don't know anything about it, and then you went, wow, I really like that character. I'm going to open every single rabbit hole humanly possible.
Yeah.
I was one of those people with Mortal Kombat. Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat actually has a decent story in it when you go to it.
It really does.
So does Street Fighter. Tekken is just the most Japanese.
You
You have an ogre, a raptor, a wooden thing, and a bear.
dummy.
Just it makes no sense. It never has.
love it so
There's
much.
commonly families throwing themselves off of helicopters or into volcanoes, and they live. It's so dumb, but that's like in the Tekken 8 in the Tekken anime. It was on Netflix. I loved it so much. There's just like, hey guys, we gotta go. And they're like, why? What's going on? Oh, I think Paul's fighting a bear. I'm like, that's why I love Tekken. It's so dumb.
Do you know what I want to happen so badly because they were hinting at it so heavily last year at Evo?
Hmm.
What's that?
Capcom versus SNK 3.
It's either that or
Ooh.
I want them to get their shit together and do the other half of the Capcom versus Street Fighter.
Yes.
Or Capcom versus or
Or
Tekken Cross
Street Fighter versus Tekken. Yeah.
I want them to get the other end of that deal now that they've got their shit together.
Well, we got to go ask Harada, even though he's telling us not to ask him for shit. He tells us stop. Don't ask me for shit. And it's like, yeah,
Harada.
he's
I
the
love Harada.
best. He's the best freaking
He's,
dude.
he's the best. But yeah, man, it's and all the games look like they're giving a shit about. There was a period where Mortal Kombat went, we put a story in it, and then everyone else went, fuck the gameplay and everything else, try and get a story. This year looks like they all care about everything. Street Fighter has that world tour aspect, that design and aspect of that game with the graffiti harkening back to like Third Strike with like the rap music and all that. I can't physically put into words how much I love how Jury and Cammy look in that game. All
Dude,
their designs for everyone are phenomenal.
You know what else was really cool? And I mean, this is the biggest, most pipe dream of pipe dreams. But like seeing them bring back Akira from Project Justice Rival Schools in Street Fighter V. I think her name is Akira.
I remember, like, there's been weird stuff like Geese Howard was in Tekken.
Geese Howard, yeah, being in Tekken, that's awesome too. But like, yeah, I mean, I would love to see a Project Justice 2 or a Rival Schools 3 or whatever they would call it. That is never going to happen. I'm under no illusions that is ever going to happen, but I would just love to
but
see
it should
so much.
Spend like $50 in the arcade back in hours, and you pay like $50 for DLC nowadays. Still play for hours. It's not about winning really ever. I mean, I'm going to put this on screen while the heck I'm reading it. It's not about winning really ever. I mean, it's badass to win, but I'm pretty sure you can pull 1,000 memories. So, oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
One of my favorite memories of playing video games. I suck ass at sports games. All of them. Absolutely all of them. I had a friend.
They're tough, man.
Who is a cop now. I don't really ever see him anymore, but Josh Padimlia was a kid that I was like good friends with when I was younger in elementary school. We always used to play Madden on the 64. I was so bad. He would whoop my ass so bad, him and Matt Krieger, another friend of mine, that they would get up like 40 points on me, switch controllers, get my team back up, and then hand me it back to feel bad for me, and then still whoop my ass. And I still had the time of my life. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I did not care. It was so much fun.
I mean,
it's
yeah. I totally agree.
You know what I want back in games now? And they're in a way doing it with some Sony properties and like some other games nowadays is in-game cheat codes.
Yeah.
Somebody was mentioning that earlier today on my friend's stream on Red Stream. Somebody was mentioning that yeah, they were just mentioning it to us, like or mentioning it in their stream maybe about cheat codes. So it's so funny that you would say that because like
why not?
It's just
what's going to harm the game? It's a single player game. Put cheats in it.
Yeah, why not? Big head mode. You remember big head mode in NBA Jam?
Yeah. And like they call it DK mode in freaking in GoldenEye. And like there was it's like and they're even getting to the point like one I'm really proud of honestly is Naughty Dog with The Last of Us. There's so much random stupid shit that you don't need to be able to do in that game. Like there's a mode that in it you just hit it and the world flips.
That's incredible.
Great. That's incredible.
Or just like you could do it in 8-bit. You can change their voices to 8-bit. You can change it's just
I
love stuff like that. Do things like that. Or like the recent Resident Evil games. You can unlock them in gameplay, or you could pay $1.99 to get an unlimited machine gun, an unlimited rocket launcher, all of this other stuff.
That is so much fun.
Why not?
Why not do that? Because they're worried about breaking the game. Well, it's a single player game, and just like once you beat it, just let people have fun with it.
Program it better.
Yeah,
getting a gun to have unlimited ammo shouldn't break your game. I'm sorry if that part's breaking your game, then something in your programming's bad.
Yeah,
because I'm telling you right now, another thing that I wanted to bring up was the RE4 demo. I played that.
Yes,
I'm telling you right
now, I played that too.
The half an hour I played of that might be my favorite RE game I've ever played.
Wow, that's high praise.
So I have never played RE4 back in the day. I did not play it because I just didn't play the Resident Evil. I missed out on a lot of stuff. Okay,
Oh, so did I when I was
but
younger.
like, but so was it that tough in the original?
That
Because that was pretty
part,
tough.
that part is.
Okay,
One thing I will say that's a little bit different,
yeah,
and I don't know if this is just member berries and remembering it correctly. The village you could run around in was much bigger.
okay. That
You had
makes
more
sense.
options to run around and escape, if I'm remembering it correctly. Then again, I'm purposely not touching it to play it off that. I'm going to watch the Two Best Friends playthrough so that I can do that, but I want my hands to be strictly with this. Chainsaw Man was hard. That part you had to survive and do all
Okay.
that. So it was difficult. It very much was difficult, but not every part of it was that difficult. There's moments where you had to get through an area, kill stuff, and then they had moments where you kind of had to hold out. Like the infamous cabin sequence
Mhm.
comes from Resident Evil 4, where you're locked in a building, and
Mhm,
then
mhm.
guess what? You've got 20 minutes, don't die.
Oh,
That's from
my
RE4.
God.
Whenever you mention someone say there's a cabin sequence in a game, it's from there.
That's RE4. Okay.
And it's RE4. But yeah, like here's how primitive, in a way, RE4 was. Mike,
Mhm, mhm.
so you don't know, RE4 might be one of the most important games in video game history.
Yeah.
And for the weirdest reasons. That team had so much time and money. They threw away 3 versions of that game. 2 of them became
That's
other
right.
series for Capcom.
Oh, wow.
Devil May Cry
Devil May Cry and Haunting Ground.
and Haunting Ground. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I had no idea that's where Devil May Cry came from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if like go, you obviously don't need to play it, but go watch videos of Devil May Cry. And you're gonna what it looks like, and you're gonna start seeing a castle that's on an island, and you drive away on a plane instead of a jet ski, and a bunch of other little things that are like, yeah, that we're just looking at Malay Island and other things where it's just it was too action. They wanted it to be action but it got to be too action heavy to where you were like juggling people with a sword and stuff. That turned into Devil May Cry. Like there's fan art of Dante and Virgil in cribs with blue and yellow coloring with the Umbrella logo above it.
Yeah.
Like there's rumors that they were supposed to be Umbrella experiments. And
Oh, wow.
like,
Oh my gosh.
like man, oh boy, it's wild. Actually my favorite though, not gonna lie. You share that opinion, don't you, Kiona?
Well,
I don't know if it was your favorite, but you
I don't
really
know if it's
liked
my
it, didn't you?
favorite, but I do
You
like
really
it.
liked it?
I actually don't mind it so much.
One
I
thing
know
I'll
that-
say,
Yeah, a
one
lot
thing
of
I'll
people
say
would
about
probably
it
disagree.
that I wish there's very much some stuff that like goes against the
Mhm.
core of what I liked about it because it kind of
Mhm,
I want to say handicaps you is
Mm-hmm.
the like the weapon switching. It made it so you couldn't do a lot more combos than you usually do. One thing I will say,
I see your point on that.
but one thing that thing nailed, other than oh boy, does the story fall flat in its fucking ass and forget everything it wanted to do at the very end and just go, by the way, we still need to have a boss fight with Virgil, even though it makes no sense.
Of course.
The
of course.
idea of having demons in plain sight, I liked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And having the other world that you jumped into,
Yeah.
that was cool.
That was
And
cool.
Also, Capcom, bring Cat back.
Yeah, Cat is
Cat was
awesome.
great.
I like Cat.
As much as Virgil was an unbelievable useless douchebag in that game, his redesign was really cool.
Yeah. Not everything about it was horrible.
No,
but
and if you play DMC5, you'll very much see that Hideki Itsuno very much didn't think it was horrible because there's a lot of shit that's in that game that's only from DMC Devil May Cry. Virgil
Mhm.
having a doppelganger, he pops it out in the last fight, and Dante says to him point blank, "You think you'll beat me? Not in a million years." That is a
Direct
direct
reference.
quote.
Direct
reference.
quote.
And anyway, what I was getting back to with
Yes.
RE4, they threw all that stuff away and it got it back. And then it was when they went more actiony. The camera went to like a more third-person view.
Yep. Yeah.
All this. And it was the one that like was actiony enough before it started getting to 5, which was still actiony but good. And then it went to 6, where they literally quoted saying they want Call of Duty money.
Yeah.
That's when I keep forgetting his name. I can't remember his name. Who was running it at the time just was out of his mind. And
yeah.
I can't think of his name, but he left the company not long after, and then they got their shit together. They
Was
stopped
it the
outsourcing
Mega Man,
stuff.
the Mega Man guy?
Mega Man guy, yeah, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, why am I blanking on him? Okay,
I blank on it every time we talk about this. But
KG, was it KG something?
Inafune.
Inafune.
Inafune, that's who it was.
Inafune.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
in the original, you had to stop and pop, meaning you had to like shoot, move, shoot, and like you couldn't duck. And the weirdest thing, in all of the Resident Evil games, there's never stealth, really. There really isn't stealth in any Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
In this one, you can duck.
Yes.
Mind-boggling, you can duck. And you
Mind-boggling.
can like stealth kill people with a knife. Originally in the game, you like pop someone in the knee and then you knifed him on the ground. In this one, you can like knife parry and like chop people's arms off, parry an axe out of the air. You could do all sorts of shit. It's phenomenal.
Oh,
You can
what
duck.
was
Go ahead.
so coming to this with like no expectations and coming into the demo and just playing it for the first time blind last night was very interesting because I was like,
Trash, we'll get to
okay.
that in a second. Go ahead, Kiana.
Like I failed a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie, I failed a couple of times.
Oh,
like,
I did. I died like 3 or 4
but
times.
like,
Don't worry.
but like I was like just playing around with things and like I didn't even realize until like my third time through that I was like, oh wait, I could go to this other path and I could do like a couple stealth kills and just like, and kind of take out some of these people so that it's not so darn overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
And now you don't have to try and kill the chainsaw. You don't.
yeah, you don't have
kill
to like. I
Salvador.
didn't even kill him, honestly.
No.
But like, I was just running away to get like away from all these people and stuff like that. But I love the fact that they give you a little bit of freedom, like, and there's different cutscenes and whatnot. It's kind of cool. And also, they threw an axe at me and I shot it out of the sky with my gun. I was like, that is the most amazing thing. Also, Leon's roundhouse.
Oh,
game
Leon's
is
roundhouse is back.
freaking
You
amazing.
suplex zombies, Mike.
This game is going to be so much fun. Like
Oh,
I think it's
absolutely.
going to be my favorite of the remakes so far.
I'm going to be
even though
honest.
I
It's
actually
gonna be
like
my favorite. The
Resident Evil
remakes
3
might be my
remake.
favorite one ever.
A lot of
'Cause-
people
wow.
hated that. A lot of
Hated
people
what?
hated the RE3 remake. I kind of liked it because it had Jill,
The problem is,
but they cut a lot
it's
of
not a
content from
bad
that,
game.
right?
I think people hated how much got cut because 3 is a
Yes.
short game in the first place.
That's
and
a
it got even
fair
shorter.
criticism for sure.
You want to know
Fair
what the
criticism.
weird thing is, Kiona? Everyone complained about what the RE3 3 remake did. The same exact shit they complained about the original version of 3. It's literally plot point for plot point. Why is it so short? Why does it do this? It's literally just copy and paste. But in this again, Mike, like what was Kiona was saying, there's like moments where in the original one you just have to shoot people. You could like pop them in the knee, stab them. You could pop them in the knee, and then you could roundhouse kick them. Do this. You basically essentially try to immobilize a zombie and do this other stuff.
Yeah.
And why I can't wait till the game's done because there's going to be a cheat to get an unlimited knife. I just know there is.
Oh,
And,
yes. Yes.
Like you could counter everything, and it's not a strict counter. It's not. Like it's not quite as unbelievably easy as the Godfall counter, which is just you swing it, and the second it leaves, you just press it and wait for it to hit you, and it auto counters, bordering most of the time.
Oh my
Like,
god.
It's very lenient, but you can't
That
just
is-
hit it and get away with it.
Right.
But like again,
Right.
there was a moment where I watched Max's stream where I didn't
Yeah.
realize it, where a guy went to punch him. Max went up the counter and he sliced the guy's arm off at the forearm. I'm like,
What?
wow.
yeah, didn't know you could do that. And Max didn't either. He just was trying shit.
He
And
freaked
like
out,
a
I
woman
bet.
came charging at me with a pitchfork. I countered it and knocked it in the air and I suplexed her. And like they threw an axe at me. I smacked it away with a knife and blew their head off. And like the next time after it, a person from the side of me, I turned, barely saw coming because it was thrown from off screen. I ducked, shot him in the knee, and roundhouse kicked him in the face. I'm like, this is what they wanted RE6 to be in their heart.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
It is RE, but has action in it, but it still feels like I'm playing a freaking Resident Evil game.
Yep.
Oh, but anyway, okay, so Jurassic was springing up here. Don't
Yeah.
most game developers eventually hit that crisis with one where one of the big players ends up breaking? The big like it's not as much as I would say breaking. It's the problem where I hear Matt and Pat and Wooly talk about this quite a bit, where a
Mhm.
game will be pretty much done or getting close to development, and then a higher up will come in and go, so I was playing a game this weekend. How about we try and throw all this
How
horse
about-
shit into it?
jeez.
Oh, yeah. That's
And
definitely
they'll
a
go,
thing.
and not all companies have this as bad as Capcom did at one point, where everyone at one point was trying to
The
chase
dark
Call
days.
of Duty.
The dark days of Capcom.
Yeah, they were all trying to chase Call of Duty money. And Capcom doesn't make properties that make Call of Duty money. No one does, except
does.
for Take-Two. No.
I think maybe
Take-Two-
Madden
Take-Two-
would be the thing to it, maybe?
No. Who makes GTA? Take-Two?
Oh, yeah. GTA.
GTA. That's like the one
Yeah.
that does it. They make $5 million a day off of Grand Theft Auto Online. They're the only one that tops Call of Duty, really, and Fortnite. But
Yeah,
like
Fortnite, Call of Duty,
but
Grand Theft Auto Online. That's
a
it.
lot of them go, hey, what if we did our own? It's gotten better, but they do have those crisis moments. And it's like a lot of those times where they have those moments, it actually, I would say more often than not, when the person actually cares, leads to good things. Hideki Kamiya leaving Capcom led to Platinum.
Yes.
Keep in mind, Platinum recently
Platinum
blah,
failed for Babylon's Fall. Like, that was legitimately a failure.
like they built a whole
Platinum is
studio
so-
just for live service and it tanked.
Platinum is such a good developer, though. I feel like they just need to stick to their guns and just do what they do really well.
They do what they do really well. The problem is they
It doesn't make
wanted
money,
to
I guess.
they don't. That's the thing. They wanted their live service department to make them money so they could keep
So they
making
could keep doing,
the games they like to make, because the problem is the games they make are some of the best games ever made, but
Yes.
no one buys them.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. And like
Well,
they're
mean-
not good at, they're really only good at action. Like their stories are whatever. And then like everyone's like, yeah, but Nier Automata's and Metal Gear's stories are really good. I'm like, cool, Platinum didn't write them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like those were, but Babylon's Fall was also a co-development, right?
Yeah, Square Enix. I partially blame a lot of that on Square Enix.
I think so.
Because Square Enix wants everything to be Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, it's so frustrating for me because I love Platinum so much.
here's
It
the problem
reminds
with
me
most
of
game
Treasure.
One game never change their mind. They always try to focus on what they want. And actually, fans
Yeah.
want about 60. Yeah, it's
That's true, Jurassic.
a
That's
lot
very
of them don't make games to make, and it. How do I want to say this without sounding like a hypocritical douchebag? Most of them don't make games to make players happy. They make games to make money. And here's the thing:
Mm-hmm.
when people say that, when they're like, "That was a cash grab,"
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to break the world for a lot of you folks. Everything ever made is a cash
It was
grab.
a cash grab.
Mhm.
That's the reason things get made, is to make money. Are some more than others? Yes. But saying that was just a cash grab is a really bad excuse sometimes.
But you remember that company called Treasure, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So like
Sliced bread is a cash grab. That is fantastic, Jurassic.
that is exactly what Platinum reminds me of.
Yes.
Platinum reminds me of Treasure because Treasure has just gone into becoming like they have become a mobile game developer essentially now at this point.
You know what? What remind, like with Treasure, what I miss N64 era rare.
Yeah.
My favorite game until Horizon came out was Banjo-Tooie. Nothing came close. Nothing even came close because those games
Man.
had so much personality and everything written into them. And then they made, then Xbox bought them. And I don't hate Xbox, but my biggest spurn against them is they made them make Kinect games.
Oh yeah, totally. The Kinect
What
was
the actual hell are you doing?
That was the dumbest thing, I think.
But there's a game that I can't think of it. Two best friends played it. Two best friends. I can't remember what it is. Freedom Planet? It was a game that was very much reminiscent of Treasure, and I believe it was called Freedom Planet, but it was very, very close to that. Yo, what's up? How's it going? Hello. Good to see you. But anyway, yeah, and then it's just, man, you don't get a lot of those anymore. Like one of the ones that's still of that era that's making games. Oh boy, they just blanked. Psychonauts. Oh, who makes Psychonauts?
Oh, Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer. I can't think of what his company's name is. But yeah, like they still make
Double
games
Fine? Is it
Double Fine?
Majesco?
It's Double Fine.
But Double Fine. Majesco's another older company, but yeah. But yeah, some nicer, older company feels are. I remember Command and Conquer, but I crashed so hard because they focused on more a fan base than money. Yeah, it's a hard line to straddle.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to bring it up. You want a company that's really good at it is Capcom.
Yeah.
Now they got their shit together. They've
really
good at straddling the line.
now. Yeah, they're doing a really good job.
They know what people want. They put it in the games, but they do it in a professional way.
I just hope that there's more hints for Capcom versus SNK 3. I really am looking forward to that.
I think now that they've got Street Fighter back on track, there's a lot of good
audience.
There's a lot better chance for some of those cool, weird projects to happen now that Street Fighter's back on track.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. What's next?
Before we do, I was going to do even more gaming stuff, but I'll take my small Forspoken rant for later. Yeah. Mike, Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know when this podcast will actually be up, but
it'll be up.
The Oscars.
As long as it takes to edit it.
Great. So the Oscars are this weekend, and they've got people talking.
Cocaine Bear for Best Picture.
Yeah. I'm for that. I support it.
I'm not going to run through all the nominees, but I'll just do the above the line stuff. So for Best Picture, we've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Woman Talking.
And then that Top Gun got a nomination. I'm so happy.
Right? For Best Director, we've got Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Spielberg, obviously, for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness.
Nice.
Best Actor, we've got Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nye for Living.
Best Actress. Weird that he got an Oscar just for Living, but
yep.
For Best Actress, we've got Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas playing Marilyn Monroe in Blonde. I'm sure Tyler will be happy about that.
Tyler's going to be extremely happy.
Aesthetic.
Yes.
Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and the one that I personally want to win,
I agree,
Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
Yes.
And then for Best Supporting Actor, we got Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, I so want him to win.
Same. And then Best Supporting Actress, we've got Angela Bassett for Wakanda Forever,
Yes.
Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon from The Banshees of Inisherin, and then 2 nominees from Everything Everywhere All at Once, Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Hsu.
Okay.
And then the last one I'll go through is
So one
Best
Angela
Animated
Bassett.
Feature Film. Obviously, we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio,
Nice.
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea
Okay.
Beast, and Turning Red.
I just want something in the Shrek universe to win an Oscar.
Yes, that would be amazing.
It'll be the second film
I'm all
in the
for it.
Shrek universe to win.
What was the first one?
The first one.
That won an Oscar?
Shrek?
It was the very first Oscar for Best Animated Feature. Back in,
Shut the hell up!
Are you
Really?
kidding me? Shrek what?
Yep. At the very least, it was nominated. Let me double check.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa! What the hell?
Yeah, Shrek won the very first Best Animated Feature.
Hold on, I'll be right
Oscar.
back, guys.
You're fine. Holy shit! Wow! I had no idea.
And here's the weirdest part.
Yes. Yeah, Shrek won. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Anyway, go ahead.
In the early 2000s, in the year that Shrek won, there were only 3 nominees. The other 2 were Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and Monsters Inc.
Okay. I feel a little less shocked at Shrek 1 now. Against Monsters Inc. That's pretty crazy. But
Yep.
Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, not so much. I want to see how close those votes were with Monsters Inc. and Shrek. If there's
Oh,
any
and
way to
Jurassic
access it-
Jurassic just mentioned this. Shrek was also nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, the very first animated feature to be nominated for that.
adapted
Adapted
before?
screenplay.
What was it before?
Because Shrek is based on a children's book from the late 90s.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god. I forgot
Oh,
that. Holy
yeah.
crap. Wow.
My favorite bit of trivia about Shrek is that was
Interesting.
originally supposed to be Chris Farley.
Yeah. There's
can find-
actual
you can find some-
dialogue
Yeah.
floating around there.
That's how long that thing's been in development. That's insane. Man.
Yeah, that's the thing that most people like. I think like people who are in the know that like animation takes a long time, but sometimes you like dig deeper into the productions of these things and like you find out that some of these movies have been in development for like 20 plus years.
It's insane. Insane. But yeah, that's so what are you thinking, Mike? Who do you want to win? And who do you
That-
think is going to win?
I'll get some of my obvious choices out of the way first.
It's also the animators from Beavis and Butthead. Shut up!
What?
What? That's crazy.
I believe it.
DreamWorks.
Wow. Shut up, Beavis.
Fire. Fire. Fire.
I'm slightly paying attention while watching Gurren Lagann. You know what, Monica? I
Good
won't be
choice.
upset with you if you watch Gurren Lagann more
It's
than
a good
me.
choice. It's a good choice. I've been wanting to rewatch it lately, honestly.
That will never upset me.
Of course not.
Anyway, Mike, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna start with, you know what? I'll rip the band-aid off. I think for Best Picture, it's going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It probably will. I want it to be Top Gun Maverick, but it's not going to
I
be.
want it to be Top Gun Maverick too. By the way, that movie also hit me in the feels. Like, what? From that movie?
Mhm.
And
I was seriously
I didn't
like-
have it until the last like 5 minutes.
The cameo, man. The cameo.
Oh, yes.
The
that was
cameo
up.
was freaking amazing.
Yep.
And also,
It's probably my favorite scene in the movie, other than the climax, which is basically just Star Wars.
just that quiet moment of him like just standing on like the aircraft carrier, just saying, "Talk to me, Goose." Like that got me. Why the hell did that?
Yeah,
get
and
me?
like I need to see it again. I don't remember the exact moment, but like him and Rooster finally being okay with each other. But thank you for saving my life. I'm like, but okay, Kamina, yes. Okay, so Avatar could show it this time because I'm a little salty. Okay, there's a tiny little thing, and then I'm gonna let you go off. There's a tiny little thing that Top Gun Maverick did that
Yeah.
movies don't do
Uh-huh.
ever. There's that moment that when they're flying back and they're sure they're dead because there's that one extra pilot that's coming after them, and they're both ready to die, and he's just like, "I'm fine with it, man. We made it this far." And before, oh help me, what's the name of the pilot that saves them at the end?
Hangman.
Hangman. Before Hangman shoots that extra jet, they let the missile leave the jet for 2 seconds. They don't shoot him down before he fires it. They let him shoot the missile and then let it get exploded with the explosion that blows up the jet, just to give you that moment where you're like, even if they save him, they're screwed. I'm like, that was such a tiny little detail. That's so good. And just the dialogue in that movie. Time to do some of that pilot shit, Maverick. Maverick, what are they saying? I have no idea.
Jurassic asks, "Do you feel like this will be the final Top Gun movie?"
It
Tough
made a lot of
question.
money.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So, I mean, I think possibly, but also probably not.
Okay, here's the thing.
The ball is in Tom Cruise's court.
It
Yeah.
is. It very
Yeah.
much is. I don't need to see Tom Cruise in a Top Gun movie again.
Yeah.
I'm normally not the biggest Miles Teller fan, but I will tell you, holy shit, did he nail it as Rooster? And I
He
would
was
be
really
very
good.
It was really
be
good.
very okay with a Top Gun Rooster. If they're just gonna do Top Gun Pilot,
Top Gun
but they
pilot
need
name.
to come up with a reason for the movie to exist.
Yes.
Because
yes.
Top
Yes.
Gun was good. Top Gun Maverick was as amazing as it was because that movie had a reason for it to be made. There's few sequels where I felt everyone gave a shit about making that movie
Mhm.
at all parts.
Um,
And it felt like it
Speaking-
needed to get made after I watched it.
Speaking of similar movies, do you guys know the story of how Creed came to be?
I don't.
No. I don't think
So, the director Ryan Coogler, he went directly to Stallone and said, "I need this movie to happen." He basically pitched the movie, and Stallone's like, "Yeah, all right, let's do it."
I could see Coogler doing that. And
That's why that first movie is so good. And I'll say this: the newest movie, Creed 3, that Michael B. Jordan directed himself, is amazing.
that dude's got an impressive. Most of the actors thought the new Space Jam was dumb. That's because it was.
It was dumb.
It was dumb, and I don't think anyone's
Algae
hiding it.
Rhythm. We can't have Pepe Le Pew in it because he's too controversial and he doesn't make sense. But we're gonna have the people from fucking
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange in there because they're appropriate for the kids.
Yeah. It felt much more cynical than the original Space Jam for me.
And
Space
the
Jam
original was
fun.
already pretty cynical.
Yeah,
felt
but I
fun,
like the
though.
original.
There's a Pulp Fiction reference in that original one, for crying out loud.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
It's so fun.
it's fun.
But anyway,
I just think it was funnier. Like it was better made than this new one was.
everything about the original is better made.
Yeah.
You want to talk about movies that felt like they needed to get made? Top Gun Maverick, after it made, felt like that movie actually had a purpose to get made. That
Yeah,
other one
yeah.
felt like everyone involved lost time of their lives.
Yeah. It was bad.
Just
When I found out that Ryan Coogler and his brother were involved in the new Space Jam, I'm like, are you sure?
I think they just showed up on set to visit LeBron
Cloverfield.
one day, and then they credited them.
Probably.
Like,
The first Cloverfield was actually not that bad, Jurassic, in my opinion.
no. Okay, one
Well, I
last
hate
thing
that
before we
guy.
go. Talking about being credited for nothing. This is my favorite John Carpenter thing ever. It might be
Okay.
my favorite snippet of an interview ever. There was a sit-down interview with Guillermo del Toro and John Carpenter. And he's talking to him about his film history. And he goes to him, I know it didn't get the credit it deserved back in the day, but I have to say the influences that the thing had on modern movies and horror as a whole is impressive, and it's something that you should really be proud of. And its influence on pop culture is just phenomenal. And they're eating dinner, and then John Carpenter just finishes his bite and goes, "What fucking good does that do me now?" And then they ordered dessert.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then, like,
beautiful.
I can't remember what movie it was on, but he was just credited at the Fog. He was in there at as a producer, and then they came in and the many roles the producers have, and then they interviewed John Carpenter. He's like, "So what do you do?" "I sit in this chair and I get paid." I don't think there's more people that are more salty about how much he got screwed over and his mom was making more money than John Carpenter. Like, Halloween was the only one where he actually got paid his dues. Oh, man. But anyway,
man. That's great.
back to your Oscar talk, Mike. Go.
Okay, so where was I? Yes, obviously everything everywhere all at once.
They even say it in the special features. But go ahead.
Yep.
Yep.
For best director, it would be so cool if the Daniels won for everything everywhere all at once, because I think they might be the first duo to win this award. Normally duos aren't really that prominent in award season, except
How
for maybe
many-
the Coen brothers.
I was going to say, how many
Mhm, mhm.
director duos are there?
There's like a handful, but it's not really that common.
There's
Okay,
the Daniels. There's like Lord and Miller.
There's the Russos.
The Russos.
Or
The Wachowskis.
The Wachowskis.
Who's the one? I don't know if it's Lord Miller that did Crank.
Oh. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna look this up.
Because they did. I want to say they also did that Ghost Rider sequel.
Yeah, they did. You're right. Neville Dean and Taylor.
Neville Dean and Taylor. Thank you. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Mark Neville Dean, Brian Taylor. Yeah.
The Wachowskis.
And who else?
Oh my god.
The directors who did Captain Marvel.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck.
there we go.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And also,
There
Marvel
are
too,
more
right?
out there, but
Oh yeah, I think so.
Miss
but-
Marvel directors.
yeah. But yeah, sorry, didn't mean to derail you there.
Sorry about that, Mike.
all good. Best actor. This one's a tough one because it could be either Austin Butler, Colin Farrell, or Brendan Fraser. I
want
feel
Brendan
like it's
Fraser
going-
to win.
I want Fraser to win because I want him to win. I didn't necessarily love The Whale. I think he's very good in it. I just have some problems with like the actual subject matter, but
Yeah.
the performances are all very well done. Austin Butler, though, he
Yeah.
became Elvis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
yeah.
Best actress. I've made it clear before that Michelle Yeoh absolutely deserves this.
Yep,
But Cate Blanchett gives one of her best performances in Tar.
she does, but I it's one of those awards where I'd be like kind of legitimately upset if Michelle Yeoh doesn't win it.
Yeah. Like it just sucks that two great performances were happened to be in the same year.
Yeah, it is.
Best supporting actor, this one's been a lock since the beginning. Ke Huy Quan absolutely deserves this award for coming back to acting after like a 20-year absence. Like he's done like some behind the scenes stuff. I think for the first X-Men film, he helped out with the fight choreography.
Huh.
But it was Crazy Rich Asians, like that movie's success pretty much like jump started his return to acting. And now we get to see him in season 2 of Loki.
Yes. That'll be good.
Best supporting actress. It would be really cool if Angela Bassett won, because she would be the first actor from a Marvel movie to win this award.
I mean, this is one of the first times where they have a role that kind of actually merits it.
Exactly. But specifically for Bassett, this is her second nomination in like almost 30 years.
That is criminal.
And yes, Jurassic, I agree. Bassett has been a badass throughout most of her career.
Angela Bassett is so great. So great. She could have been... I still say like she could be Storm if they ever wanted a Storm play for X-Men.
If they wanted like an older Storm,
yeah,
she would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Like Angela Bassett, she's only in the game for maybe like 3 hours, but I got to have her in the Horizon sequel. Oh, she was so good. Just that voice.
Yes.
Oh,
voice, presence, plus she looks like she could bench press me. I'm into
it.
I'm down for
she is
that.
just a queen.
Yes, she is.
I feel like I feel like they could actually redo Mystique and have her play her.
That's a good idea.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
I'd so be down for that.
I'm going to quickly run through some of the rest of these. For best original screenplay, it's got to be everything everywhere all at once. Like that's not even a question. Best adapted screenplay, some of the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Living, which is a Western remake of Ikaru by Akira Kurosawa, and then Top Gun Maverick and Women Talking.
Interesting.
I feel like this one kind of belongs to Women Talking. I still haven't seen the film yet, so I can't fully comment on its quality, but it feels like that will be the one award it goes home with. Best animated feature is going to be Del Toro's Pinocchio. That's another one of those locks that have been pretty much decided ever since it was announced. Best international feature film. I feel like that one's probably going to be All Quiet on the Western Front. Again, Tyler's going to love that.
Yes.
Let's see. Best documentary feature. Complete
Cocaine
Shot in the
Bear.
Dark. Yes. complete shot in the dark. I feel like this might be all the beauty and the bloodshed, or A House Made of Splinters. This one's a real toss up. Best documentary, short subject. The Elephant Whispers, maybe. These are the ones that I'm completely guessing.
I've never heard.
Yeah, I'm not a big documentary watcher, so I don't have a lot of.
I don't have a lot of opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with the live action short films. The only one I can maybe think taking this is An Irish Goodbye. Best animated short film. This one's either going to be Ice Merchants or The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Okay. Best original score. I would love it if it went to Babylon, which was it was scored by Justin Hurwitz, who has done all of Damien Chazelle's movies, and the score for this is actually amazing.
No, documentaries don't bore me. I don't look into documentaries. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
they don't bore me now.
No, some of them are very, very interesting, but
for me, I'm just very picky. Like if it's a subject that I'm like already interested in, I'm more likely to watch that than just something random.
Yeah.
Best original song. The nominees are Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick,
Danger Zone from Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Always. Lift Me Up from Wakanda Forever. Natu from RRR, the only nominee that movie received. And then This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm pretty sure this is going to Natu, but the other song I would probably choose is Lift Me Up from Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Because of that mid-credits scene.
Yeah.
And just the credits in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't listen to that song without thinking about Chadwick Boseman and
yeah, very true.
Best sound. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, or Top Gun Maverick.
What was the category again?
Best sound. This used to be two separate categories: best sound mixing and best sound editing.
Man, The Batman actually, in my opinion, is pretty high on that.
Agreed. Like it's either that or Top Gun Maverick, because seeing that movie in Dolby was an experience.
Yeah, and there's
actually everything except for All Quiet on the Western Front. I've seen all of these nominees in Dolby.
Nice. I just keep bringing back to myself the first time you see the Batmobile and you hear that engine start humming. I'm just like,
right?
That is terror in my brain. Oh.
Best production design: All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans.
That's probably.
I think this one.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Just for the sheer amount of it.
Yeah. Best cinematography: All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. I'm really pissed about best cinematography because there are two very notable snubs. One is The Batman, which I thought had some of the best cinematography. That had really good
cinematography. Yeah,
freaking A, it did.
Yeah, it did.
And the other one was Top Gun Maverick because
that was
a lot
really,
of
really good.
Well, no, the thing is, like, a lot of those aerial scenes were shot like in the planes, and the actors themselves were like doing like the directing.
Yeah, that's Tom Cruise was like, you're not flying the planes, but your ass is taking those G's and you're gonna feel it. Like, it was all realistic and it all looked amazing.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did.
Partially, This is going to be me being the I'm just a regular movie watcher and not a movie connoisseur talking, but partially think they didn't get nominated because of the type of movies that they are.
Yeah.
Which is weird though, because Top Gun is up for Best Picture.
Yeah, it just like I don't know how you snub those two, because they aren't the Batman especially, because it's not like it's in every other category.
It's in a few other categories, which I am very appreciative of.
Mm-hmm.
Like like the other one, best makeup and hairstyling, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale.
Oh, I don't think
this one's tough because
I really liked her in that movie, but anyway, that's just me.
I have some complaints, but yeah.
Best costume design, Babylon.
Well, best hair and makeup. By the way, Batman should win that alone for Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I agree.
Good point. Yes.
I thought that was Rupert Friend. And I honestly thought it was. I was like, what? Like, no, it's Colin Farrell. I'm like, okay.
If you look really closely and imagine it without like all the, you can
like
kind of see a little bit of Colin Farrell, a little bit, but yeah.
What are you talking here? What are you? God, it was so good.
I hope it goes to the Batman, but really good, I also see Elvis being a possibility too, because, like I said, Austin Butler became Elvis, especially in the second half.
Honestly, that movie put me to sleep.
Elvis?
Yes.
Is it the subject matter or how the movie was done?
Actually, I come from a long line of Elvis fans, so I don't think it was a subject matter. I think I just was tired, but it was just, I don't know. That it's a Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann tends to make me a little bit sleepy at times.
Fair.
But there are a couple of movies that he's done that I like.
Quick question. Have any of y'all fell asleep during a movie in a theater, not because you were tired, because you legit got bored?
Aragon.
Okay. Because I got one. Do you got one, Nick? Kiana?
Trying to think. Dante's Peak, I think? Way back when? Fell asleep during that.
The Last Jedi. There's 45 minutes.
The Last Jedi?
There's 45 minutes of that movie I have not seen.
Dude, I saw that twice in a row on opening night.
I fell asleep when they started talking about leaving with the code breaker, and then the whole thing when they're at the casino.
Oh, the casino.
Yeah. Middle chunk of that movie, have no idea what even happened.
Yeah, well, some would say you're better off not knowing that, but I feel like that movie.
The second Avatar. I fell asleep 3 times watching Titanic. To be fair, it is 15 hours long.
True. I kind of wish that, I don't know. I wish that Rian Johnson had made a totally his own creation sci-fi.
I think it would have been better off.
Yeah, honestly, he definitely would have been better off. He would have.
In hindsight, I agree. I still love The Last Jedi, but Johnson is so much better doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just some of the ideas that he introduced in that would have been better off in their own movie.
Yep, and they would have been better off if they would have stuck with those decisions in that same movie too. If Rey and Kylo would have went their own way and did their own thing, in my opinion, that would have been the most interesting thing a Star Wars movie's ever done.
That would have been kind of, yeah.
Legit pissed me off they didn't go with that. But anyway.
And then Rise of Skywalker happened and pissed all of us off.
We don't ever have to talk about that movie again.
No.
All right, last 3 categories. Best costume design. We got Babylon, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I think this one's going to Wakanda Forever because Ruth Carter is a mastermind when it comes to costume design.
It absolutely
everything.
Should. Absolutely.
And it's so much too. Everything in Talokan, the Wakandans, the Midnight. What were the Midnight Angels?
Yep.
Yeah, everything, and that was just it was
Mhm.
crazily well done.
Best film editing: The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. This one's tough. I
Somewhere Elvis, please.
you know what? I will say this. The reason why Elvis was nominated is because in the second half of the film, in the first half, all of those early live performances, that was actually Austin Butler singing. But as we
Holy
kind of
crap.
transition towards like the second half, they start to really incorporate Elvis's actual recordings.
Okay.
And what's especially impressive is the final musical number where they actually splice together Austin Butler's like performance and actual footage of Elvis.
Oh, nice. I didn't know. Nice.
And then the reason I want Top Gun Maverick to win though is like we talked about, like that's just master film craft.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the very last award as we go down this list is Best Visual Effects. So All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun Maverick. I feel like Avatar is...
It's obviously going to go to Avatar.
Yeah.
I will legit fall out of my chair if it's on Avatar.
I will legit go up on stage just to have Will Smith slap me if it's not Avatar.
And then have Will Smith look like the bad guy for forever.
Oh no, I'll just say like, hey,
No.
Will, just come up here and slap me so that I can wake up from this nightmare.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not even that the bad movies have not like effects, but it's like all those nominated are like 10% effect, 90% real, and then you have Avatar that is maybe 4% real. Like, unless it looked like they made N64 graphics, it's gonna win.
Yeah. Something that's always bugged me about Best Visual Effects is this almost kind of feels like the kids table award. Just same thing with Best Animated Feature. Like these are the two categories that usually get the pretty much like the consolation prizes.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But at least visual effects does get some recognition because,
Yeah, like at least this year, if Avatar does win, which I kind of know for a fact it will, like it will be well deserved because the visual effects are amazing.
Yeah.
That being said, I also think Top Gun Maverick or The Batman would have been good choices too, because as much as like Top Gun used like a lot of practical effects, like they still incorporate some CGI in there.
Wait, you mean you actually didn't blow those people up? Oh, now it's ruined. Now I hate it.
Darn.
So yeah, that's those are all of the nominees. Now, the last episode of The Last of Us will be broadcast the same night.
It'll be interesting. They just had 8 million people watching the last of Us episode. So we're gonna have to see how that works. And they moved The Last of Us last time to avoid the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they did that because historically the Super Bowl is like the most watched program of all time.
Yeah.
I wonder if they could only like afford to do that once, because, you know, as popular as the Oscars broadcast is, it has also been declining in ratings over the past like decade.
It's not the most exciting watch.
No.
No.
I mean, I watch it every year because it's a tradition that I have with my parents that, you know, we watch the Oscars together because that's the big award show.
Mhm.
But I would also be lying if I said it's not completely like it's not completely worth the 4.5 hours of its length.
Yeah, it's weird. I can't watch a lot of things for 4.5 hours, especially something that's as dry as the Oscars.
I just hope this year they actually do something to spruce it up. But at the same time, I want the focus to be on the movies and not stupid silly antics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Be
hopefully
nice.
having an actual host this year helps things. Because last year's show was I never
Something
want
else.
to talk about last year's show ever again.
Yeah, that was something else. But
Yeah, that's definitely
how that is a year ago already also.
I know. I don't even
Right?
understand time anymore. It's a construct. It's I don't
I was talking with people at work. I'm like, I can't tell you a thing that's happened in my life outside of me buying my house and putting new floors in since 2019. I honestly can't
Honestly,
tell you.
yeah, like the past 3 years have honestly just been a blur. It's insane.
That's right, Jurassic.
This is fine. But yeah, it's like I just and then like also that like playing the RE4 demo yesterday. That original game came out 18 years ago.
Oh my god.
I remember seeing advertisements for the original RE4 in old Game Informer magazines.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Okay, so do we have one last topic there, Brock?
We did. I kind of wanted to go into a small Forspoken rant, but I don't know if so. The thing, it's not even about. I'll understand if people didn't like playing the game. Part of it was janky, but the story in it is shockingly actually good. And what
Really?
hurts me is that all the good things are on the ass end of that game, and everyone saw the first hour and then wrote it off as campy cringe garbage. When all that ends, the second after all those clips are out.
Really?
So, okay. So,
Interesting.
for those paying attention at home, I'm going to try and make this as short as I can. It's about this girl, Frey Holland. Her name is Holland because she was found in the Holland Tunnel. And she lives in New York, and she's never met her parents. She has no idea what happened. She's in troubles with gangs, and she finds this brace, this arm brace thing, and she calls it cuff, and it gets very irritated. It prefers the word van brace, and you find this thing in a portal, and you get zipped into this other world, and she has no idea what's going on, and they keep calling Frey this demon that no one understands and doesn't like. And then throughout this, you get to meet this guy who is a friend of yours' dad, that he's the only way you can get back to your home. And you like do all these quests, do all this, that, and you find out that this world is that's fine. That breaks apart And you find out that it's from these characters called Tantas that are kind of like the big spiritual leaders of this world, and there's 4 of them. And they all went nuts for some reason. But no one knows why. And then you, with the help of this brace, start taking care of them, killing them. And you start gaining powers from them as you go. And you're collecting braces from each one of them that are extremely similar to yours as you go through it. And then everyone's like wondering what happened to them. And then the brace is like, we need to take care of them. We need to save these people. And Frey doesn't care. She just wants to go home because no one's ever cared about her. And then as it goes on, you start seeing that. And these Tantas that used to be these peaceful beings are incredibly like wrathful. And there's no thing that shows how they got that way. And then partway through the game, you hear that these Tantas like aren't allowed to have families, aren't to do this other thing. And then like, I guess partway through, I think one of these Tantas is Frey's mom. And one of them looks incredibly like her because you see them all 4 when you kill the first one. And then as you're going through, you kill one of them and you get your first extra set of powers from her. And then the next one comes and attacks the town. And you kind of go to track her down. And then you just want to get this liquid thing from her that allows you to give your friend's dad that you met the ability to take you home. But you end up having to kill this Tanta anyway, because you get kind of dragged into a fight by the Cuff, who's like, you need to care about these people. You need to help them and protect them. You need to stop only thinking about yourself. And he's guilting her on all these things. And eventually she's like, no, I don't want to kill him. I just want to go home. I don't want to kill any more people. So you kill her. And then eventually you come back and another Tanta attacks the town. But you find out during the middle of your fight with this one that there's a hint that you're that she's the daughter of one of these other ones that are around. And she finds out as this guy who can help her get through the portal dies that he knew the whole time, but he just wasn't completely sure that she was the daughter of Tanta Cinta, this big, most impressive, most peaceful of all of them. And then you're like, and there, you don't know anything about the other Tanta other than that you could go fight them if you want, and the Cuff thinks you should fight them other than going to go confront. You go to confront your mom or this Cinta to make sure to try and find your way home, and you get zipped into a fantasy land. It's basically an illusion by one of the other ones. And you're kind of not sure what's going on. And I'm really shrinking the story down here. Stuff happens in between it. And then like you're living the happiest life you could. Like you have your cat back. You're not in this like being like chased down by criminals anymore. You're not in trouble. You have a good job. All these people you knew in the other world are now your friends now. And then all of a sudden you're sitting eating dinner with your mom, and it's this other Tanta. And then this waiter comes up that sounds exactly like the Cuff that's trying to get you out. And eventually he helps you break out of this illusion, and you fight and kill this other Tanta, and you only have this other one left. One thing I forgot to mention, at the beginning of this game, you attempt to kill a dragon. You don't know why, but the Cuff just orders you to try and kill this dragon, and you know nothing else. And that this dragon won't let anyone leave this one holy town that isn't affected by the break that's killing everything. Eventually, when you get the brace from this very last Tanta, you go to grab it and like, okay, Cuff, do your thing. Grab it, steal the powers. And he doesn't listen to you. And it's really weird. And then all of a sudden, the brace zips off your arm, goes into that thing, and becomes this giant golden ethereal monster that was basically taken apart. You learn, you get out, and you get zipped back to where you were from. You learn that initially they had this war with these people a long time ago, and that they made this giant monster after they lost the war, and it's what Cuff is. To win, they split him into 4 parts and then separated them, and they found out anytime they were near each other, they were getting corrupted by it. So they took off all to these different corners of the earth to separate themselves, and eventually they became corrupted by this Cuff, And then that's what made them go nuts. But nobody knew because they didn't tell anyone. And the entire time, you were thinking that the cuff was trying to get you to get off your ass and help people, when realistically, he was just trying to get you to kill these people to help himself. And it goes into this big spin about how you thought that no one ever cared about you and that these 4 Tauntas knew you were existing, but they dumped you in the other world to protect you from all of this. And that the thing that dragon that you were trying to fight is the Taunta you can't find because it's your mom. She was being corrupted by that cuff while she had you, and when she sent you to the Holland Tunnel to live, the cuff zips itself off of her and goes with Frey because it feels it should be with her, and she'd been corrupted so long that she turned into it. So, like, from the beginning of the game, he was trying to screw you over. That sounds like a roller coaster, 120 miles an hour with no brakes, because I'm skipping a good chunk of plot that just has talking in the middle. I'm condensing 8 hours of plot into 5 minutes. It goes a lot smoother than this, trust me. But, and they take you through this thing at the end where Frey had all these powers and could defend herself. She just didn't know how to use them. And the cuff was making it look like you were stealing them from all these other people, and he was controlling you the entire time. And at the end, you have all these Tauntas surrounding her and like being her family and protecting her. And it's just really well done. And at the end, she who thought she was afraid the entire time is getting her ass whipped. And she like has this awakened moment where she very much just comes into her own and finally embraces that she's from this world and her family and all this. And it's really well done, and I'm explaining it badly, but you just have this moment where the story culminates and you whoop the shit out of this thing that destroyed the family you have that you thought you didn't have. And you have a great moment where you're just backed up by all these people that you're not alone. And like all the past Tauntas like spiritually form around you and help kill this thing. And it's like, it accumulates into a really great moment that like, I'm saying it really plainly, but Kiona, did you play Shadow of the Colossus?
I haven't played it, but I know about it.
You know of it? It's done as well as that in game. You don't see it coming, and it's just so freaking well done. And I was just like, no one else is seeing this story because the first 20 minutes got ripped to shreds online.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I fucking hate that.
Then they closed down the studio on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Ooh, ouch.
Me, Monica, which episode are you
They
watching?
absorbed it.
I bet I know which one it is.
It's either 8 or the
Yeah.
one where with Keaton. I can't remember which one it is because it's in like 18 or 19. But
Yeah.
it's one of the two, I'm guessing. I won't mention why. Unless you haven't watched it, Jurassic, you should watch Gurren Lagann. It's very good.
Yeah,
But-
Gurren is really good.
But anyway, that was
It
my
was 8.
small rant about. I don't know if any of you guys have something similar. 8, yeah. Again, won't mention what, but I still cried at every time I've seen it. Later, buddy. Anyway, do you guys have something that gets really good later on, but no one witnessed it because they shit all over the beginning of it? Do you have anything like that?
Sure, I do. I just can't think of it right now because I'm tired.
I'm a sad
Yeah,
potato.
I'm sure there's a lot of examples. Oh, okay. We'll eventually get to a fresh takes on this one too, but too many people who are fans of Amphibia say the show doesn't really get good until season 2.
Okay.
Which I very much disagree with. Not because it's not good in season 2. Season 2 is amazing, but people kind of disregard the first season just because they think it's filler, which
That is my most hated complaint about a lot of things. It doesn't
Yeah.
do the thing I like, so it's not rural to the plot. It's filler. Shut up.
I think we have reached a point where people don't know how to consume media anymore.
No.
Like people think like plot is the only important thing, when for me that doesn't even breach the top 5.
No. Yeah, it's Bleach is very loved and hated for the cure. Exactly. There's a random filler episode of Bleach where they make a movie. Or you want the worst? Boruto starts with filler.
Oof. I think I went to like episode 39 of Shippuden and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Was it the boat?
It was probably the boat.
That's where everyone stopped. It's so bad. There's too much. But anyway, yeah, if you don't got an example, that's pretty much just the last little
I think
bit.
my brain is turned off at this point. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long
fine.
day.
It's
all
fine.
good.
Think of anything right now.
It's all good. I normally want this podcast to be around 3 hours, and we're at 250, so that's fine. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I had to
Good,
get
good.
that in because it's one of those. It's just like I don't like
Oh,
people
I'm glad
that,
you did.
that kill off stuff in the first
Yeah.
few minutes.
Yeah.
Like again, Jurassic. Watch Gurren.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people that I've actually talked to that didn't finish Gurren because they don't like what happened to Nate.
Oh man.
I'm not saying they're wrong. I understand emotionally why people do that. I just disagree with doing that.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, I get it. What happens takes away something a lot of people that they liked, but it's the literal plot of the show. I still need to watch Angel Beats Jurassic. It's on my list, and I've been warned many times that I'm going to die while watching it. It's I watched Madoka, and that almost killed me. And then I was told to watch Angel Beats next, and then a person in the same conversation went, "No, he's literally going to die if you watch both of them in a row." But all right, yeah. I'm glad we got this going again. I missed
Me
this.
too.
I'm happy. But all right, so you will love it, and then you will die. It's like sex.
But
You're
that-
gonna get
Sounds like a good
pregnant,
time.
and then you
Sounds like a good
die.
time.
But all right. So anyways, Mike, where can everybody find you, buddy?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/Coach K42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on Podchaser, on YouTube, on Patreon now.
Yes.
On the
Go check
on
it out.
Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. Kiona, where can I find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Neoplasmic24. You can also find me on renegadepopculture.com, of course. And you can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Neoplasmic. Be streaming tomorrow, or I should say Saturday. If this is not up, I don't know. It might have already passed Saturday, but we'll see.
It'll probably be up Saturday.
Okay. But yeah, so I'll be streaming soon. I'll just say it that way.
Absolutely. You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mostly on Twitch and YouTube. If you like Resident Evil 4, I can't say this many more times. Tune in on the midnight release of the game. I will be giving away a PS5 Digital Deluxe Edition of the game. All you have to do is be watching and subscribe. $5 to win something that's worth $80. And the reason a lot of people have asked me, why am I only giving away a PS5 copy? Is it because I'm a shill? No. I literally need to give away a PS5 copy because I ordered the big Digital Deluxe Edition and I won't be getting it on time to stream it at midnight. So I'm also buying it digitally myself on my system for the Digital Deluxe Edition. And the code I'm going to get with the big Collector's Edition is just going to be everything that's in it. Because the stupidity of modern games now, they don't even send you a disc. They just send you a freaking code, even with a steelbook.
That makes no sense to me, but yeah.
The best part about that, the steelbooks have the opening for the disc still.
I know.
Don't even put it in there. Don't even make the steelbook open. Just have the design.
Yeah.
But anyway, for everyone who's been asking, I would gladly just be like, whatever. And in the future, if these giveaways take off, I will just say, I'm going to give away blank amount to buy the game on your platform if you win. We'll end off on that. Remember, everything is a cash grab, even sliced bread. I want that on a t-shirt. Sliced bread is a cash grab.
Yep.
Bottled water is a cash grab.
Yep.
All right, everyone. We will see you all later.
All right.